baby. I'm about to show them what a boss really about. What you here for? Strictly business. I'm bossed up. I'm bossed up. I got boss in my IV. Just check my ID, and that's why I be the HNIC. People despise me. My services ain't free. Ain't trying to hear your story, homie. Cop me, no please. In high school, corner, quarterback. Nowadays, corner, quarter sack. Keep that on the low. Rappers turning into rats. Drop snitching on they self. DEA ransack.
Oh, y'all are in for the bullshit today. What's good? What's
shit. Because
shit. My brother is in the building today.
What's the motherfucking deal, people?
My brother's in the building today. And if there was a day,
and he got the shades on. So look, though, y'all don't know.
We gotta rock the Coach Proms. We're gonna support Coach Prom no matter what. So we always gotta make sure it ain't no bandwagoning around here.
Yeah. So if there was a day for my brother GQ to pop up, today is the day.
Oh, that doc was absolutely fire. I was like, boy, the times just lined up too perfect. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna. I got Ohio State and Texas to my right. I got SmackDown behind me. Got the daughter in the bed. I was like, yeah. I got the wife at a bachelorette party. I was like, oh, we crashing tonight.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool.
Yes, sir. I love it. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Okay. I just want to sit here and just let y'all know that, and it's perfect that GQ is here. Because we tell y'all we are always 2 steps ahead of everyone. We tried to tell you, we did this. I think it was back in August, the video that YouTube didn't want to promote for us. And they took it down when we said we didn't want feminism in sports. We kind of broke it down on why it was a bad thing. Yeah, I know how I feel about Joy Taylor.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think you call her a big box SpongeBob.
Yep, there she goes. SpongeBob with titties. That's what Mel refers to her as.
SpongeBob with titties. It is about to go down tonight. Okay, we're gonna have a whole lot of fun today. We're gonna talk some truth. Before I get it going, GQ, let the people know how you've been doing.
Man, it's been wicked out here in these streets, man. We've been, we've been, of course, moving, seeing, we've been cooking on Gentleman's Talk, having a grand old time. I ain't talked to my brothers in a while, so you have to excuse my slight reminiscence going on. But we got back into college, so we just wrapped up our first 8-week semester. We're in our second set of 8 weeks, so we, getting this bachelor's degree finished. Got another career for the career building up. Got to stack these retirements up.
I feel you. All right, so it's been a little different since GQ's been on the show, so we kind of adjusted some things. So he's here for the new stuff. He's here for the new shit. So you know how we do. We like the warm up is a little different. It has a theme to it this week.
Hey, it's a man's game tonight. Now you know that. It's a man's game tonight. Here we come. It's a man's game now. Oh, it's on, big boy. It's gonna be a football game tonight now. No doubt. It's gonna be a football game. Let's go. Let's play. Put your hands on them and let's play. Let's see if they can play physical football today. Let's see if they can run without nobody touching. You know what I'm talking about? They ain't waiting.
You want to smell my finger, Shannon? Ooh, I know that smell. That's Joy Taylor. Yep. Wait, how do you know that smell? I knocked that out the park years ago. Bang! How much did you have to pay? I didn't pay anything, Skip. What? I had to pay $1 million.
You got Chuck.
Don't tell me you hit it too, Whitlock.
No, but I could have had some fun with her big cans and peanut butter skin. I just didn't want to, and it's definitely not because she wouldn't let me because I'm a fat slob.
Cowherd, did you smash Joy too? I'm in it right now.
Yeah.
I literally watched that an hour ago. Why they got my man Whitlock sounding like Jabba the Hutt?
Leave my man Whitlock. Hey, Whitlock, brother Jason, you are Steph Curry. You have been bombing from 3 all week, shooting at least 70% from downtown.
You can say I would say the same about Marcellus Wiley too.
Marcellus too. But
he been telling all the stories and connecting the dots from way back on the Sports Nation days.
Right. We're gonna get to all that. Like I said, we're gonna have some fun today. I'm reveling this. The amount of text messages and phone calls I got from people like, yo, the first person I thought about when all this shit dropped.
I'm trying to tell you.
Was you.
I'm trying to tell you. First person. Didn't think of nobody else. We're
gonna have some more fun today. This one, this is an old one. I pulled this as I was searching for videos and shit. I pulled it off my Instagram, but it's gonna have a theme to it.
I want you to be in your kitchen. I want the kids to be bothering you.
Yep.
And I want you to be in a small space with a big bushel of potatoes.
His wife, these kids.
And then you gotta boil them, mash them. Don't make them too
potatoes, Ryan.
All right.
I see it now. I hate this.
All right. Anyway.
What's next? That's going viral.
Okay.
It was potatoes being mashed because they were boiled, so they're soft. Yeah, that's on me.
Yeah.
That's on me.
We all saw it.
When I tell you,
so you get freaking.
It's a theme. It's a theme today. It's a theme.
You're trying to get that man that Terminator twist
340. What? Dog. She was churning
like, she was getting it. Like I was like, when she about to just, like she was just in it.
He couldn't even hold it. The second she started, he was done.
Them potatoes, them ain't mashed, them was whipped potatoes.
Bro, yeah. She was churning something and it wasn't potatoes nor butter.
Hey, listen, it has not, I've always said negative stuff about it. I've been waiting to say negative stuff about it. I've been on that shit for years. But we're going to get it popping today. We got this. We're going to have fun.
You have to be really careful out there.
You do. We've had 6 consecutive days of Did I?
Okay. All right. That was a Freudian slip, but we're going to pretend like we didn't hear it.
You raggedy bitch.
Yep. It's getting better. I'm working my way.
Mel's just getting the cast iron hot right now.
This is what the warm up is for.
This is heating up right now. That's the thing.
It ain't even hot. It's like simmering. It ain't even hot. It's still cool. It's still relatively warm to the touch. It ain't burning yet. When when your mama tell you don't touch the cast iron, you don't fuck yourself up. Yeah, that's where we get in there.
Yeah, this is the build-up. This is what the warm-up is for. This is
between Tampa and Los Angeles. It's like we got all. I mean, two cities have belonged all the championships and players.
I remember that. I so happened to be watching that episode and that shit happened. I was like, yo, my man was staring directly when he said that. That's a psychology thing, right? When you switch up and say some shit like that, it was already here.
You was there. It was there.
Like,
it was,
people don't understand, like, when we talk about the subconscious, right? Like, shit comes to the forefront in certain scenarios. So, like, I always tell people the most honest person is a drunk person, because when they drunk and they start just flying, I'm like, nah, fam, that shit been boiling in the back of that subconscious. And they finally got the courage, liquid courage enough to let that shit hang out.
Yeah, a drunk mind speaks sober words is what they say.
Yep.
I watched that shit live. That was absolutely great. Okay. Colin knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he did.
Goff understands how to operate that system. Like, the Lions are very well put together. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who can do the dirty work. You got Jameson Williams, who can take the top off. You got Jahmyr Gibbs, who's extremely explosive. You got Jerry.
That's the only time
Shady ain't shit.
Shady was living up to his name on that one.
Shady ain't shit. I know. Look, and we gonna it's gonna come out later. Why Shady they gonna say they use that Pittsburgh connection.
Goodness gracious!
Look, I don't know. I haven't been saving them. They just all somehow came to me at one time. But we go. Okay, so all of this, you saw the thumbnail. Big cans and peanut butter. If you know Jason if you watch Jason Whitlock, you know what the big cans and the peanut butter, you know what that means.
Goodness gracious!
And he was not wrong. He was not. We're gonna get to Cam Newton on too. We're gonna slow walk this. We're gonna have some fun. today. Let's get it. It's time.
We ain't got tomorrow. We got now. We ain't got next. We got now. We ain't coming no more.
Just know when you on this goal side, we turned up the whole game, bro. We finna be live, we finna be popping it. I don't know how you got this camera in this helmet, but I like it. Let's go.
All right, let's get it. So let's let's do a little deep dive into all of the scuttlebutt, all of the talk that's been going around about the whole your favorite hater. What's up?
I thought that man spelled camel for a second.
What's going on, brother? Okay, so we know. I guess a lot of people also haven't. They're misunderstanding why Joy Taylor is getting all of this heat that she's getting. We're over there's oh well, Skip did this, and and for everybody, they did not mention Shannon Sharp in the lawsuit
at all.
Oh, Shannon Sharp defended himself already.
Right. The lady, she just mentioned Shannon, saying that she never had any contact or relationship with him at all, point blank period.
Mm-hmm.
And that Skip was jealous of Shannon, which we all knew. That was,
it's an old crusty white man and a big swole, stallion of a man.
Right. So
with a bionic hip.
With a bionic hip.
I like peanut butter. Peanut butter is actually.
Yeah, I fucks with peanut butter.
Speaking. So let's get some stuff going on.
What the fuck is happening at Fox Sports? Joy Taylor getting passed around like a company blunt? And we got Simp Bayless, Pimp Bayless, Skip Bayless, cashing out $1.5 million for some fucking cheeks. Unk must be fucking starving. He is single-handedly resetting the market on the price of kitty. Here's what commercial breaks sounded like at Fox. People that didn't even work at Fox were lining up out the door to clock in. If this is what's happening at Fox, I don't know if we're ready for what's happening at ESPN. But I do know when this news broke, I submitted my resume. For research purposes, of course. No wonder Emmanuel Macho had this big-ass smile every day at work. He was fucking joy. Literally. He had happy all over his face and joy all over his taste buds. Joy just set female sport analysts back 100 years. Funniest part of all this shit is they all had to pull up to work and act like the nation doesn't know they just had an orgy in the back room. Joy's mommy milkers went on a generational run to the top. I just know Shannon Sharp is living his best fucking life.
So, quick little recap. That's all. So, let's GQ. You back in the building. What was your first initial reaction to all of this, the tornado of the Fox News stuff?
Oh, I spit my drink out. Then they said 42 fucking pages. I was like, wait a minute, we got a whole case. But the thing that stuck out was when they said that Skip had offered the 1.2 mil, and I was like, hold on. This is the same man we see on back in. Let's go all the way back. Same you we seen on Cold Pizza, on First Take originally, even on Undisputed. Talk about his wife, the author Ernestine, all the goddamn time. We not gonna pretend like this man don't be talking about his wife, like it's nothing, And now you over here trying to drop 1.2 million on some. I hate that they said on some cheeks because there ain't really no cheeks to clap. You over there clapping fucking pelvic bone, that's really what it is. But. Well, you wasn't clapping shit because she clearly told you no. But the whole thing just was when they started really, because you figure we've heard a million different lawsuits ever. This one had a lot of details,
right?
A lot. Hey, I pulled up and I saw her and Emmanuel together, and they looked like they were having a romantic thing. You're like, oh shit, this is okay. That's some details. And then, her telling the makeup chick to kind of get over it. And I'm like, see, there you go with that empowered corporate shit because, you on your way up the ladder. It's don't do that. All right, everybody should be able to eat, but you over here trying to step on somebody like because they making a claim and you figure, oh, that's gonna fuck up my money, so hey, just shut the fuck up and let's let this shit happen. Like, no, if it's wrong, it's wrong. And then if this whole thing is true and it goes all the way up to the top, like the CEO, which that motherfucker like a whole pedo, and then some, like, I'm like, then they talk about this triangle between her and Acho and then this guy up at the top. Like, it's just it's a shit show.
It's a big shit show.
I'm surprised that both shows are just running like ain't shit happened. Like I watched the day this shit dropped, Speak hadn't come on yet. And I was like, let me watch Speak, and I watched The Facility, and like nothing happened. I was like, oh, okay, Acho's still on TV, okay. And it's like nothing. It's like nothing happened at all.
Because what's crazy about this lawsuit and the reason why it's very different from all other lawsuits in this instance is that you have a woman who filed it, and then the main culprit in all of this is another woman. Because if you listen to, like, if you read what the stuff said about Skip and what she said, oh, Skip, when he, I guess made advancements, and she was like, oh, you're married. Women don't talk like that. And then, Skip was saying, well, aren't you Muslim? And don't they have multiple wives? I'm like, I don't see Skip saying that. Like, I just don't. I don't
know, man. Skip is crazy.
Skip is
be saying some shit now. He did say some disrespectful shit to Shannon Sharp on TV. Like,
he's absolutely ridiculous, but I don't think he's that ridiculous. But either way, but all of this, normally it's the CEO that's the dirtbag in all this. But in this instance, it's the woman. And that's the part I think is why people are kind of staying away from this, because feminism is taking a huge hit because of it. If everything that this woman said, that Joy Taylor did this with also the plan of if he stepped out of line, she was going to Me Too him.
It's that last part was the most damning. Like, see, and Moo noticed very well. We had a whole episode of Gentleman's Talk talking about shit just like this, throwing that shit out there like it's just basically a Uno reverse card type shit. And it's like, see, and now you out here playing a victim card when you're not a victim, and you're making it harder for victims to do what victims have to do, which is speak up, because they can't. Because I got a millionaire speaking up on some falsehoods, fucking it up for the middle class and below.
Yep. And this is, let's tie some knots right now.
Can we just keep it a buck? If they're fine enough, if they're funny enough, or if their financial status is what you want, fine, funny, fucking money, you're throwing all boundaries, standards, all that shit you talked on Instagram about how you would never, and this woman ain't because women this and men this, you're moving forward with this person.
No, my favorite hypothetical, because it's so ridiculous, is when you ask anybody if they would do something outrageous for like $1 million and they say no. It's like, okay, would you do it for 2 million? I mean, would you do it for what's the number? Like, anytime you add money into a hypothetical, people love feeling good about themselves by saying that they wouldn't do it for the money, but it's literally only because it's a hypothetical. If you saw this $1 million in front of your face and I said, do this, are you doing it?
So, with that being said, this is where women, if you allow women open space to just talk, they tell on themselves. All of everything that they say is a lie, because they have a price. They have a price. Because if we look at Joy Taylor's career, she started off as a bartender and was a radio personality in Miami. Where does bartender radio personality equal moderator on TV for a sports show?
I'm not going to say that doesn't entirely make it impossible, because at least there's the radio part of it. Speaking as a bartender, first of all, there is a level of charisma that you have to have right off the rip. You have to be extremely comfortable talking to people. And there's levels of female bartenders are obviously more successful than males because they have levels of flirtation.
What do they have?
They have assets.
Would it be big cans and peanut butter?
Sometimes. But, but at the same time, remember, there's also a family tie here too.
Oh,
so there was a point in time when
that's what we used to think, but now we know how it happened.
We're trying to speculate, because before she was on TV, he was on TV. He did a little bit of football analyst and stuff like that. He was on. I want to say it was either CBS or Fox. One of the morning kickoff shows for a while after he retired. So we at least knew about him. We knew Jason Taylor. We also knew him on the field too. Well, look, where's Skip at now? Not on TV, doing his podcast, but ain't nobody heard shit from him since they broke up Undisputed and moved Paul Pierce ass over to Speak, and it's just a terrible fucking show because it's not good. Speak is the worst show.
All of them are bad.
Speak is the worst show. I actually like the facility. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I like the concept of the facility. I'm gonna leave it at that. I like the concept.
Okay. See,
this is great. This is great. I'm telling y'all right now, this is the greatest thing ever. 2025 is starting off wild as fuck. You got Skip Bayless offering chicken for the Poom Poom. Okay, he wanted some jerk chicken with some extra dipping sauce on the side. Joy Taylor is basically starting OnlyFans with everybody in the office, bro. That's basically what's happening. That's basically what happened. That's what's going on. She don't want to admit it. Nobody want to say it, but I don't need to want to say it. Okay, they got a Speak OnlyFans, and they own their feature and sharing juices and sharing speaks and ideas and thoughts and opinions outside of sports, outside of the live camera that shoots on Fox.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, hasn't it been a while since the two females have done a show together?
Well, see, I was going to get to that.
We're going to get to that.
I be reading tea leaves, as they like to say, and I was like, wait a minute, because that clip is old and not old at the exact same time. Like, it's like they ain't really had a lot of new content.
One thing I found interesting though about the whole lawsuit, right? As I was reading through the 42 pages and stuff like that, right? First of all, the Muslim comment was crazy, but the fact that she said that she had went to lunch with her on multiple occasions and seen her with two different kinds of men, quoting that first she was married, right? But then he had a fiance, and then the I guess the marriage was called off. So it's like I'm kind of confused at that point, because it's like
I'll clear that up right now. I'll clear it up. She was married to this, I think it was a white dude, the first dude. They got a divorce because of all of the nonsense that was going on at Fox. She then got engaged to Earl Watson. He caught wind of all the drama that was happening. He broke it off. So that's what she's referring to. Because I was always wondering, I was like, whatever happened to her and Earl Watson? Now we know.
So they've been in there having Fox freak-offs for years now.
Yeah.
According to Whitlock, this has been going on since 2016.
Yeah. Since Sports Nation was a show.
Goodness gracious, y'all been out there.
So basically, since Sports Nation was a show, since the original Speak was a show, and since Numbers Don't Lie was a show.
I guess they for surely don't lie.
No, they clearly Numbers Don't Lie. Because, like I said, Marcellus Wiley been on fire. He been in the basement. He been telling stories like, "Hey, I'm gonna connect all these dots for y'all." And he's like, and then of course he showed a video with Acho talking, and he keep magically, sniffing his finger and shit.
I got my video. I should have uploaded it.
I was just like, yo, like this, like, if this whole thing blows up, I agree with the video you sent earlier, Mel, when you said that the AI generated one, basically, where they talked about setting back. This would genuinely set back female analysts. Like, this would set them back.
It's not
because
I don't think it's going to set them back. I think it's going to set them back, but I think it's going to expose, because we have to look at it as, if we start connecting the dots, if we look at someone like Kimberly Martin, Kimberly Martin's husband she got her job. I think he's like a high-ranking person at one of the newspapers in New York.
Okay.
That's how she got that. And I think then he moved over to ESPN. You look at Malika Andrews, who's her husband, high-ranking guy at ESPN, who she was dating before she got there. Now, and Malika Andrews is another one, because she went from the New York, either the Washington Post or the New York Times, I forgot which one she started. She was only there for like a year, I think, tops. Then she moved over to ESPN. Then within 6 months, she has her own show by the age of 26. That's crazy work, considering there's a lot of other women who've been grinding and putting in work who could have earned that spot. Speaking of which, let's talk about the Rachel Nichols situation in the bubble. Where
with Jimmy Butler?
Jimmy Butler.
No, not so. I don't even care about that. She lost out on the opportunity to be the reporter for the bubble for Maria Taylor. Yeah. How did Maria Taylor get to that position out of nowhere?
Well, there was also the slurs that Rachel Nichols had dropped too.
But that was after the fact. That was after. That's when she found out that Maria was getting the job.
Yeah.
And it wasn't slurs. She was just said she basically called her a DEI hire, which she was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what's going to happen is a lot of this stuff. If you look at Molly Curran, when she got engaged with Jalen Rose, and all of the women on of these shows have some connection to men in these shows. So this is going to hurt. Like, this is going to be bad.
Well, now Jalen Rose ain't even with ESPN no more.
Right.
He was on Inside. He was on Inside the NBA with NBA on TNT. I'm sorry, with Shaq and all them. And then with this whole thing, like if NBA on TNT goes to ESPN, they're like, what are we gonna do? Because Jalen Rose has kind of become a part of one of the normal parts. Like, it starts getting a little weird. But and when I say setback, and I don't mean like we're gonna just magically see all these women disappear off the air. We're not gonna see that, but it is going to make people push the pause button and be like, hey, why is this person there? This person there? Like, and the thing is, some of these women genuinely have worked hard and tried to hone their craft. And like, I appreciate the women, especially the ones that are on ESPN talking about like WNBA stuff. Like, I applaud them for giving it their all, because there is a lot, and the way the WNBA has really, blown up here this last year, really. Like, I'm glad we've got stuff like that going on, but now you start looking at even like NFL Network, like we've got, some amazing women that are over there doing things. It's like, how is it going to hurt all the networks collectively? FS1 is just one network.
I think moving forward, we're going to end up seeing less women in these spots because it gets dicey. Because
it's not even dicey, bro. You got to call it.
Its point is beyond dicey.
Yeah, this is straightforward, because thinking about the budget, the quote unquote budget cuts that happened with everybody that lost their job at ESPN, but all of the women that you named were maintained and retained. Every single one of them.
Yeah. And it's hold on, I got another one.
Jeff Saturday is successful or not does not diminish the fact that the way he got this job was ridiculous and embarrassing and disrespectful to everyone else in the organization. What it says to everyone around the NFL, by the way, not just in-house, is that your hard work doesn't matter. What you put in doesn't matter. You could show up every day. You could get here early. You could leave late. You could put in years, blood, sweat, and tears. And if I have a better relationship with this guy, he's going to get the job over you. Remember that. And believe me, that message is received when you do things like this. So it's not about if Jeff Saturday wins a game over the Raiders or not. It's about the message that you send about hard work and how it pays off in your organization. And good people that have options don't go to organizations like that, because they want to know they have upward mobility. They want to know that their hard work is going to be rewarded and respected. And what the Colts did, said, hard work doesn't matter, honey. Relationships do. Sorry about it. And everyone's doubling down on it now. And remember, since we're doing receipts, I'm going to keep those too. Because if you don't have to have requirements, if you don't have to have a resume to get a job, keep that same energy. And here's my favorite part about this while I'm ranting. Keeping receipts. The next time a woman's up for a job, I don't want to hear about the experience that she needs to have it. Because I already know she's excellent if she's getting the interview in the first place. So all you are loud and tweeting and celebrating this whole thing and celebrating the fact that you don't need certain kind of accomplishments or resume to get a job, keep that same energy, please.
And you looking in the mirror, what they say you is?
You're a whore. You're a whore, just admit it. You're a whore, you whore yourself out online, you whore yourself out in front of your family and your friends. You're a whore, plain and simple. Just admit that you're a whore and a slut and a harlot.
Yes.
That was on a short list of some of the more, that was one of the more disrespectful takes that she ever had. Because she literally said that basically that Jeff Saturday had absolutely no credentials to be
whatsoever.
a coach. Like, first of
None.
all,
Zero.
outside of the quarterback and the middle linebacker, the center is arguably one of the smartest people on the fucking field.
Yes.
Because who do you think calls out the fucking protections most times? When you see the center, okay, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't remember what the fuck happens on Inside the Huddle, we do talk football around here. When the center gets down and touches the ball, they look left and right like you were taught as a kid to look both ways before you cross the fucking street. They're looking to see what the defensive alignment is, and they make the initial protection adjustment. Before the quarterback gets up there and does the same exact thing that the center just did, the quarterback then goes up. This is, by the time the quarterback is done, this is the second time the protection has been checked. Then the quarterback's like, all right, that check's good. Then they'll say whatever word to confirm said check, and then boom, the play happens. So that means that Jeff Saturday has a wealth of knowledge, and let's not forget who the fuck his quarterback was like, let's, we're not gonna forget one of the most cerebral quarterbacks in the history of football. Like, say what you want about his quarterback was Peyton Manning. You don't think this guy knows some shit about football? If you work for a guy like Peyton Manning, like you've been to a Super Bowl, you won Super Bowls, you've had a deep playoff run, you had a very successful career as a center. You don't think that's credentials to be a coach? You understand X and O's as well as the fucking coach does.
He's played
but this is
of all time.
Yeah, and this is why I've always said it's hard to take women serious in sports. I'm not saying that there aren't women who can't talk sports. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is because they start to flood the market with women like this. Because that was an asinine statement. You can't say that a dude who's been playing football since he was 7 years old, at the levels he's been playing it at, a Hall of Fame center, I'm pretty sure he's going to go in the Hall of Fame.
For sure.
An all-pro, Jeff Saturday is him.
Yes.
When we talk about some of the greatest centers of all time, he's on that short list.
I'd be willing to bet if you ask any NFL aficionado, he's in everybody's top 10.
Easy.
Because and that's the thing, and the fact is, if you can name 10 centers, you clearly do know football, because you're talking about a position where most people don't even, the casual football fan does not stare at the offense or the defensive line.
The fact you know Jeff Saturday,
they're staring
is
at
a testament to him.
Yeah, they're staring at the receivers, the quarterbacks, the running backs, maybe the linebackers, but then there are very few. Obviously, the three of us do. We look at alignments. We're like, what the fuck going on over here? What's that O-line doing that? Why are they doing this offset? We're studying the play, and a center has to understand everything inside out. Because if the initial alignment is off, this entire play is off. If that right guard is a half step in the wrong direction, this entire play is fucked up. So I have to go in first, look left, right, fix it, and then let the quarterback double check, fix it, make sure it's good. Then start calling people in motion, doing all the shit, running through my cadence. You're not finna tell me that a center can't be an NFL coach. That's fucking asinine.
It's ridiculous. And then with, that aged very badly, because if what they said is true in this court document, then you being unqualified and doing the things that you did to get the position that you got, you look like an entire hypocrite.
You mean what's the word they use when Bronny got drafted? A little nepotism?
Look like it.
I don't even think it's nepotism. If you you know.
I mean, because I'm just saying it's because she had family on TV first, you know.
Oh yeah. I mean,
family ties.
Yeah. Okay, we can say it started with the family, and then she added the sprinkles and all the other stuff on top of it.
Are y'all watching this game right now?
Yes, there was a massive pass interference call that changed everything, and now it looks like Texas just took a negative play on where I'm 3rd and goal with 2:50 left in the game.
What is
21-14 the score.
They about to piss me off. Never
So
mind.
now Texas has to consider not only scoring, they have to consider going for 2.
Yep. But
I don't know if you want to give Ohio State another chance right now. I think that's a flag coming in.
Should be at least.
Nope. Damn, they didn't call it because Ewers got blasted. So Texas got the pass interference. Oh, I thought that was roughing.
My problem is like they should have brought Archie in a long time ago, but that's Melvin being Melvin.
I'm not mad and bring and Ewers didn't do anything to not earn that starting spot. So, like, Arch is gonna be Arch when it's time, and he's gonna be a baller.
Oh my god!
Wow, that just happened. Well, Texas is gone. Big fella.
I told you, Quinn Ewers is the worst quarterback in the world.
These niggas are fucking stupid because why would you do that? Steve, what are you doing?
No, it's Brock Ewers. I keep trying to tell you. I mean, Quinn Ewers. I'm sorry. I told you. And he has the worst timing.
That was my problem. Like, yes, you know how I felt about Quinn Ewers, but the play call 2 plays prior is what is the problem. Like, first of all, negated by a dumbass penalty because I literally said it before it happened. Don't point. They're gonna call a penalty. Boom, flag. But then the next, just dumb play call, big play, hit the corner, wide open. Then you're in the red zone. Dumb play call. Running back has no vision.
This is why you put Arch in the fucking game because one, he got wheels. That's the thing you got to fucking account for when he's on the field. Second, he's more accurate and he don't do dumb shit like that.
Well,
Quinn Ewers is horrible.
What?
Horrible.
Look,
been saying it all year.
And that's fine, but you can't be horrible and get offered $6 million to come back and get in the transfer portal.
Bro, that tackle got, oh my god. I don't know if that was a good move or just
they didn't offer him 6 to come back.
No, not Texas. He in general has a $6 million NIL deal being offered to him. Quote unquote.
You can go do your leave.
Well, I mean, you seen what happened. Well, and I understand how you feel about Ewers. And I think he's better than Carson Beck. I think Beck played himself out of the first round.
He's horrible
completely.
too.
That's why he's and you see he committed to Miami today.
Miami.
Yeah, he got pulled to Miami out the transfer portal. I'm like, so y'all go from Cam Ward to him.
Mario Cristobal, what are you doing?
They was trying to get Jalen Milroe too.
Side note, Ryan Day
even worse.
Ryan Day runs like a gingerbread man, but Mario Cristobal, what the fuck? What are you doing? Like,
he's about to get himself fired. That's what he's about to do.
Because why would you even do that?
Listen, keep your eyes open because if they fuck around and fire Mario Cristobal, watch them go after Dion.
Well,
be like, listen, since Florida State fucked up, Miami gonna be like, hey, Florida State ain't want you, but at the U. I'm just saying.
We're gonna get to that in the third quarter. Because I'm hearing some things.
You hearing things too? I just be reading tea leaves. You know, I'm real good at these tea leaves. I've
been hearing some good murmurs and whatnot. Okay. But to tie up and finish up this whole Joy Taylor, situation. First of all, Freaky Fox, y'all got some explaining to do. You freaky frogs over there. Okay?
Freaky ass Fox 69, dog.
Joy, I seen how you came all buttoned up and shit the next motherfucking day.
With a whole turtleneck dressed down to her ankles, looking like a nun.
I was gonna say you came in there and looked like
a nun, a Mormon.
You look like Jesus' wife, bro. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Had them
Don't
things.
say she out here looking like Mary. Oh no.
Own up. It's okay though. Don't worry about it. That's how we
mean wearing dresses that's covering up the cleavage.
Acho out here deleting posts on Instagram and motherfucking Twitter posts and shit. Nigga, we caught you. Don't worry about it.
And you know what? And I had like really had like earned. I had just earned like a new level of like respect for Acho, and he did the whole show, and he did the singing for his idol, and I was like, that's some dope ass shit. And then this shit happened, and then you know, when shit happened, you start going backwards. You're like, let me start connecting some dots. You're like, oh, this motherfucker dirty. Because even if you listen to the shit that Marcellus Wiley was saying, like,
go ahead. I was gonna go there, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Start it.
When they first got put together, he's like, oh, cool. He said, I got a young pup, and he wanted, he aggressive. And he was with that, but then like he saw that Acho was trying to do this, which if you watch all the shows, Acho tries to be the guy.
Always.
Cool. Every show has the guy. So he's like, that's cool. I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna take that step back. But then he just kept going. He's like, all right, cool. This is, and then, but then when they start holding him out his contract and shit, I was like, oh, so y'all start trying to pay this man less and get this man crumbs. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I see what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm. And then if you listen to, because Marcellus is, from what I heard, I heard that he's thinking about filing a lawsuit, but I also heard that he is filing a lawsuit against Fox Sports.
I've heard both. Like he ain't really said much on his own like podcast. He's kind of said like the writing's on the wall. Don't be surprised if I do it, but I'm not saying I'm gonna do it. He's like kind of saying it without saying it, if you will.
Right, because if everything, if it all lines up correctly, and I guess he's probably going to wait to see what happens with this original lawsuit before he does his own thing. Because if everything lines up the way that it did, they lined him up to get him out of the paint for Joy 2 years before it even happened.
Yeah, and he can go ahead and just go. I ain't trying to get my job back. I just want the compensation that I should have been owed. That's all.
Right, and
give me these damages.
Same thing with Whitlock, where they purposely did what they did to get Acho in there. Like
you also could make the argument that somebody might come back out the shadows and Michelle Beadle might, because remember she just got like just Assassin's Creed type just gone.
Yep.
Like, cause her and Marcellus Wiley on Numbers Don't Lie was actually that was one of my favorite shows. That was one of my favorite shows to watch, and then she just all of a sudden just disappeared. You're like, wait, what the fuck going on?
And then for people that when I say I don't like women, I'm saying I don't like women who don't know what they're talking about. Michelle Beadle knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, like there are, like, make sure y'all understand, there are some phenomenal women on TV. Like there are. The NFL Network is proof because they got 3 of them. Like they've got like some, like they really do. Like freaking Cynthia Freeland is one of the smartest women you will hear on TV. Like she cracks the numbers, her algorithm, like the things she talks about, even though she didn't play the sports, but the way she runs the way the game is talks about analytics, she's got that shit down to a science, and it's beautiful to hear, So there are, like I said, there are some outstanding women on TV, but there are also the other side,
right?
The ignorant ones, if you will.
And those are the ones we want off television. Okay.
No, she's built like a blow pop.
I'm very listen. Your favorite hater. I'm very.
We have photos that they have just broken out of how Joy Taylor got Acho to put her on speak.
Oh. That's what we doing. That's what we doing. Listen, I have a very strict rule called "don't shit where you eat," because I like my money a little too much.
And I guess because we're gonna transition to the Cam Newton part. That's a great even when he's not here, he knows how to transition to the next thing. That's how this show works. It's seamless.
It's because I'm with my brothers, man. We do this.
So a lot of people, Cam Newton in particular, what's this? Everybody was promised big cans, apparently. They misunderstood what Whitlock was saying when he was talking about I had to remove myself from the presence of Joy Taylor. Because if you know me, you know GQ, you know Moolage, I am very pro-man. I listen to a lot of Kevin Samuels. And one of the things that he talked about with high-value men and men in high places when dealing with women is having dick discipline. And that's, you have to, when you're in these situations, you can't mess the bag up because you're messy.
Yeah.
And Whitlock, when he said, I know me, what he was saying was, I'm going to say some wild shit. Or I'm going to do something. And if I keep myself out of that situation, that never happens.
My man said the flesh is weak.
Yeah, and he admitted it. But come on. Clearly, everybody else, flesh was weak. They just succumbed to it.
I listen, my full-time profession, that is like a hot button topic all the fucking time. Like, it is a notorious hot button topic all the fucking time because it happened a few times. And it's like, yeah, nah. Look, I got to think about the 3 women in this house. Well, the 1 woman, the teenager, and the toddler, but the 3 women in this house. And I guess sometimes the dog. I can't fuck the bag up. Not when I'm the breadwinner.
You can't.
Like,
And you have to understand, like, it's easy to get caught up in that trap because you spend a lot of time around these people. So what goes from a friendly work thing can easily transition into something stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Very fast. And it can turn into that when the woman, has an objective that she's trying to meet. Because if a woman puts you in her crosshairs, you fucked up. Like, you got to get out of the way. So
shoot me now.
So let's listen to, and like I said, Cam, you still a friend of the show. You just tripping right now, brother. You just.
With this lawsuit, you have the Jason Whitlocks of the world. What did he say?
I know what I'm capable of. That big rack of hers she showed off constantly. And that peanut butter skin with that big rack. Like, Jay, keep your dick.
Okay. Hey, Jason Whitlock. Hey, my guy. No, you're not my guy. Guy, come here. You're not that guy, pal. You're not. That big rack of hers, that's inappropriate. That butter skin, that's inappropriate. Like, bro, you're not that guy. So to comment on something like this, bro, stay in your lane. Whether Joy did what she did, the accusations are true or not, stay in your lane, Jason. All right? Because, bro, like, you're having an outer body experience, and it's time for me to put you back in your body to let you know, bro, you're not that guy, pal.
Yeah.
Joy, is she a very attractive?
Okay. That was simping at its highest level. You can't say even if she did it, you can't say nothing. Stupid. He's a journalist at the end of the day. And he didn't say anything out of pocket. He said he referred to her mammary glands as cans in her skin. He didn't go out and just like me. I called the SpongeBob with titties. Like, if you want to say something to me about it, I was being disrespectful.
Yeah, like, you might get canceled and some shit like that, But
right.
The thing is too, and I think this goes over a lot of people's heads, is like, Whitlock said that on a podcast. So there's a difference between cable TV talk and podcast talk. Podcast talk is unfiltered like a motherfucker. We can say, that's why I can say the word like fuck and nobody can say nothing to me, because I'm on a podcast. I'm not on ESPN or FS1 or HBO. I'm not anywhere like, I'm here. Even on Sirius XM, I could say what I wanted to because I'm not censored here. This is why so many people transition to podcast. If you listen to Stephen A's podcast versus Stephen A on First Take, that is 2 different men. 100%. If you listen to Colin Cowherd on his podcast versus TV, he's totally different. Nick Wright cusses like a sailor on his fucking show. On TV, church boy. 100%. Pod speak is different from TV speak. So what Whitlock did wasn't wrong. You can't always give a filtered opinion. Sometimes unfiltered is necessary. That's all he did. He gave an unfiltered, hey, listen, I know me. I know what the fuck I would have done. That's why I had to go on the exit stage left.
Right. And that's it. And just because you view Jason Whitlock a certain way doesn't mean that woman views Jason Whitlock in the same light, because she understands the power. See, the difference between men and women is that what makes us attractive is different. Women are physical. We like pretty women. We like a nice physique. We like all of those things as men. Women, on the other hand, do they like a nice looking man? Yes. But what they value more is a man of status and a man of power, in the sense of what do they always say? They want protection and provision, right? A guy like Jason Whitlock at that point in time in Fox was one of the higher ranking guys in the station. So if she was trying to move up, it's in her best interest to get on his best side as quickly as possible. The same way she did it with Acho, the same way she did it with the CEO guy. I can't remember his name right now.
Yep,
and even that guy,
and with Cowherd,
that guy is he's not an attractive man. He looks goofy.
Like
no, but he's powerful as fuck though.
But he's powerful, and that's what women go for. That's what she said. She said, yeah, she said, as status, power, all that shit, you will let all of your inhibitions go and your standards go for a guy in that situation.
I believe her exact actions were.
Yeah, those were her exact words. She did exactly what she said.
TV speak versus pod speak.
If I can comment on this Jason Whitlock thing, everybody knows how I feel about Jason Whitlock. I call him Jason Shitlock because I think he's a shitty person. But he actually didn't say nothing wrong here. He was just speaking as to the he has one of the most relevant voices in this situation. I know a lot of situations he's a journalist and he jumps in, and a lot of the time a lot of people don't ask for his opinion, but he has his own podcast, he has his own platform, so he can control whatever the fuck he says. But in this particular situation, because it's regarding a network that he frequented and worked at for a very long time and seen the ins and outs and was part of the logistics and part of the meetings and part of the background of everything, I think what he has to say in regards to how Joy mannerisms were and demeanor were backstage when it was off camera, where a lot of people probably didn't see, I think he's probably more valid than a lot of people, because she started there as the camera person behind the scenes, blah, 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 all the stuff like that, trying to get on camera. So there's no telling what she was doing in the background, things that he peeped like, hey, yo, and felt like he needed to distance himself away from. So he's, to me, like I said, everybody knows how I feel about him. He didn't say anything disrespectful. He just kept it real. Like, hey, yo, like, I seen it and I didn't want to be a part of it. And plus some other weird shit that was going on that I really didn't want to be part of. So I distanced myself until I eventually stepped away fully.
Yeah.
But from what I was seeing in the background, everything that I'm reading in this lawsuit is valid. And to talk about Cam real quick, right? I don't think he's simping for Joy. Here's what I do think, though. I do think that he is trying to, or not trying to, he's trying to look good for his boy, right? We all know he's connected with Stephen A right now. We all know him and Stephen A are really, really close, right? We all know Stephen A and Jason Whitlock have problems. So, of course, if Jason Whitlock comes out and says something, Cam, you know, he's in the tabloids, he's in the media just like we are, so he's going to be the first person to kind of say that's going to want to address it before it hits First Take, before it hits Stephen A's platform, before Stephen A is even going to address it. So I think that's what it's more like, because we know Cam like Instagram posts.
Mm-hmm. And if it's, my thing is, okay,
Joy not a stripper. I don't think Cam going for that. She don't got enough cheeks.
Yeah, no, it's just, but no, Cam,
nah, she built like she work at Hooters.
She built like a blow pop, bro.
And she bought those. Come to find out, I thought those were natural, but she bought those.
What?
How many licks does it take to get to the center? Apparently,
I wouldn't. I news to me.
Yeah,
it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell when you dress that way and you can't really get the looks, because you know you got to look at them a certain way to notice it. Then when you only looking up top, it's hard to tell. So
that's what I said. She built like a box. That's why I call it SpongeBob. But to put a bow on this, and then we're gonna move on to the next topic, is if you take everything in context and what it sounds like, you have, this is a feminist nightmare. This is a Me Too nightmare building up, because if you listen to what Joy said and how she preferenced, like, if the second that the CEO guy gets out of control, I am going to basically say he forced himself upon me. But then you have let's not forget that the lady who filed this only filed it because she got fired from Fox. None of this comes out if she never leaves Fox. And I have a problem with that because if you're alleging that a lot of this stuff happened in 2018, 2017, stuff like that, it's 2024. Why are you saying it now?
It is
2025.
2025. My bad.
Which makes it worse. Is we far removed.
So it's like that's why I said it's a lot of stuff going on right now. It's a lot.
Yeah, and it's honestly it's foul because what you said is probably spot on. Like if she don't get fired, this shit just probably don't even get discussed.
But that
was the point that I was trying to say is the hairdresser basically said, "Fuck you, I'm going to do a you on you."
And this is my question though,
because she said, "Get over it." She told the hairdresser to get over it.
Right.
Which is the same thing, which goes back to what that comment just said. That hairdresser kept receipts, just like Joy said. That's a receipt. That's a big receipt on top of that because you can't return that one.
You can't. But my question is, what's the ultimate motive here, right? Because like y'all said, if she don't get fired, this shit don't come out, right? So,
well, she no longer now. She has no money. She has no employment.
Yeah, she's not employment, but you can get a fucking hairdressing job somewhere the fuck else like that.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is we're dealing with the classic case of a desperate human being, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. What I'm saying is somebody who had a job, and I imagine if you're a hairdresser at a major network, you probably make more than you would at a commercial hair salon.
Right?
Can we say that?
We can say she's making a decent. We can say she's making at least $100,000, at least.
And this is my point, right? This is my point, right? You wouldn't come after somebody like Joy Taylor if you felt like you weren't also going to get something from it outside of a civil suit.
Well, they were best friends.
Yeah, because the hairdresser was getting harassed too. Now, I don't remember if she named her harasser just yet, but I just know whatever she told Joy.
It was the CEO guy.
CEO and
yeah.
And Skip.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but the fact of Joy saying "get over it" tells you one very key thing: that hairdresser was fucking up what Joy was trying to do. Because you don't. Let me say this the right way.
You ain't gotta say it the right way.
The way you understand what I'm saying here in a minute. I'm gonna say this in the way that GQ is supposed to say it, and we have a segment on Gentleman's Talk called the Real Talk. This is a very real talk situation here because what this is a very simple classic case of somebody who was playing a foul game. Somebody called Wendy yo foul game, and you said, "All right, I got to get the head off the snake because I'm the biggest snake, and I don't want nobody fucking up my grass." Because if they'd have cut that grass accordingly, which is what Jason Whitlock did, he started cutting the grass. Marcellus Wiley cut the grass. All of a sudden, the snakes start coming out. And now look at us in 2025 with a lawsuit like this. It's a bunch of snakes at FS1 right now. Well, technically, it's really only 3 now. It was more. Now it's only 3 left. It's Joy, it's Skip, and it's the CEO, and some kind of Acho. I'm curious about the Acho piece of this whole lawsuit because he didn't really do anything wrong necessarily.
He did in a sense. He did in a sense of you
like he's not in the same tier as like the CEO and Skip is what I'm saying.
No,
like
but he was
the up and comer. Like he's definitely the up and comer.
Yeah, but they hitched their wagon to him. Like they hitched their wagon to him. So in essence, he had the power now. That's why, once Marcellus and Whitlock were gone, it was him.
Yeah,
because she had already been on Undisputed. She had already been on the Herd. So now Acho is on you. So he threw Marcellus under the bus, and we saw the tension in Marcellus when they split. Like, he didn't want to talk about it or anything like that, but he was hurt by it. And now
I was hurt by it because I enjoyed their dynamic on Speak.
Yeah,
I actually thought those two had extremely good chemistry on that show.
They did,
and it was one of the better football shows, exclusive football style shows on a major network. Like
it was, and so Acho did all of that, and Acho is a scary type of person,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Joy, where they'll do whatever it takes to get to wherever it is they want to go.
Yeah.
And they don't care who they step on to make that happen.
I'll buy that for $1 because that part's right. Like there's that you can see it. And I hate that you can see it, but you can see it because he definitely, and by he I mean Acho in this case, has zero problem plugging in. I played at the University of Texas. I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I played in the NFL, which we know you played in the NFL. You played for the Eagles and the Browns, and you didn't do shit. Like we know this.
Mm-hmm.
We got it. Like cool, kudos to you. But because like if you look at the show, The Facility, right? The two most notable football players are Shady McCoy and James Jones, 2 Super Bowl winning players. Chase Daniel is a career backup, and Acho is just Acho. Like he played. That was it. He played. He wasn't a Pro Bowler. He didn't have a deep playoff run. Like he ain't been to a Super Bowl. Like he never led the league in sacks or tackles or I don't even know what you would consider his most iconic highlight play. He was just a guy. He was kind of like Steve Smith Sr. be saying. He's just a fucking guy.
Yep. And so we'll wait to see what happens with all this. And of course, Joy posted a thirst trap today. Again, just what she do. But like I said, everybody's like, oh well, what do you expect? You can people who have no shame, you can't shame them. So she gonna keep doing what she's doing. Okay. All right. Let's move on. We gotta get to this college football nonsense.
Number 2, but number 1 in your heart. I just think we were prepared. One thing my trainer he told me, he said, what did he say? He just told us to be prepared. I just think.
What the fuck did we just watch? Holy shit, Drew Aller is certifiably, unequivocally fucking ass at football. What in drunk shit was this throw? With the season on the line, bro enrolled himself in the blind school, threw the fucking season away, and dropped to an 18% chance to declare for the NFL draft on Polymarket. Get ready to learn, Canadian buddy. You're going to the CFL. How the fuck was this pass interference? 10 state receivers combined for 0 catches and 0 yards tonight. The first 3 quarters of this game were about as boring as Skip Bayless's alleged sex life at Fox Sports. But then, bam! Welcome to the 4th quarter. The Fighting Leprechauns went up 7 before that Singleton dude started dragging his balls all over Pope Francis and gave Penn State a 7-point lead of their own. However, Jaden fucking Greathouse snapped a dude's ankles in half and scored a 50-yard touchdown. Then the aforementioned Drew Aller had his little spasm. And here we fucking go. Holy shit, you hear the music? We got a tie ball game with 12 seconds left, but you're playing against Drew Aller, so this is to win the game. Mitch fucking Jeter. Walk it off, white boy.
It's a really good country song right there.
There you go. Absolutely.
Sorry,
so that happened yesterday.
One of my favorite country songs. I was like, oh, I was in that group for a minute.
So that happened yesterday. Okay, I mean, I said it last week. I said Notre Dame does have a chance to win this whole thing. If you're asking me, I would rather Notre Dame win it than Ohio State because I hate Ohio State.
But at the end of the day, Notre Dame has won no matter what. Here's why. Because remember when they played Penn State and there was the press conference between the 2 coaches, and the Penn State coach was upset about Notre Dame not being in a conference?
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame as a collective program is pocketing $14 million being in the college ball playoff.
Oh, yeah.
That just changed when they went to the Natty. They're going to leave with no less than $20 million. If they would have been a part of a conference, they would have had to split that. So now Notre Dame gets to keep $20 million going towards their school. That's like 3 or 4 NIL deals for talent. And it's like, no matter what, Notre Dame came into the college ball playoff with basically house money. Like,
look, first of all, get out of my chat. Okay. That's my brother.
I don't know. I like this Notre Dame team. This Notre Dame team is not the same Notre Dame from 2013 and got blasted by Alabama. I don't think Ohio State's that good anyway. And if you go back and listen, if you're Coach Freeman from Notre Dame, go back and watch the Michigan tape. Just go watch the Michigan tape, because that same Michigan team that beat Ohio State,
they don't got the offensive line to do that.
No, I'm just saying in general, like you just need to watch it for the sake of. But Notre Dame has just enough dudes to replicate bits and pieces of that game plan.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. They don't have to replicate the entire game plan. But the point is, Notre Dame can get physical. Now, granted, of course, Notre Dame, Ohio State's got what, 15, I think 14 or 15 5-star players. In the world of the CFB 12-team playoff, that is clearly not meant a damn thing, because none of the number 1 seeds survived the first round.
No.
Obviously, Boise State was the most overrated team that got a bye, but we ain't gonna we'll talk about that for another day. I think Notre Dame has a chance.
No, I
genuinely do, and I feel like if the game stays close, because I guarantee you tomorrow the opening line is going to be something along the lines of 7.5. They're going to tell Ohio State's going to be a 7.5 point favorite, give or take.
I like that.
If that game is close, Notre Dame will fuck around and pull off another one of them plays like that interception that happened last night and win the Natty.
Well, I think they're going to win regardless, because Ohio State is ass. I'm sorry. After the game I just watched, you niggas were ass. Will Howard said,
I think
line to his linebacker, "Thank you for bailing me out because I fucking suck and I threw a pick."
The thing is Jeremiah Love, not Jordan. Jordan Love played for the Packers. If y'all had Jordan Love, y'all would definitely win.
Oh, without question.
If Leonard Riley has a bad throwing game, it might get ugly. It might get ugly. Like, that's the only thing that scares me, is that as a passer, he's not really that good.
They only have him pass like 7 times. All they got to do is have him run the ball. That nigga
he gotta quit taking dumbass hits.
He gets smoked.
Like he gotta quit taking that, because he could have avoided that hit that put him basically put him in the concussion protocol in the first half. He could have avoided that.
Yeah,
he could have. Like, that wasn't one of those like you weren't prepared for type of hits.
Yeah, so I believe like I said, I'm going Notre Dame, period, point blank.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% going. I'm going Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my guns. I said it last week that Notre Dame will win it. Question: how do y'all feel about this? Because there was a lot of talk about the two coaches, about the Penn State coach and about the Notre Dame head coach, about being I'm putting air quotes up. The first black head coach to win a national championship or even play for a national championship.
I think that's dope.
Is it dope? Because what I'm asking is, does it take away from the actual black head coaches? Because one coach is half black, half white, and the other one is half Filipino, I think. He's Asian.
Yeah. He's Korean. Yeah, he's Korean.
Half Korean and half black. So they're mixed coaches, but they're not black coaches. So does that hurt the actual real black coach who wins a national championship at some point?
Yes. Because because we're doing that thing, right? We're doing that thing. And this is what I mean when I say that thing. We're doing that 23andMe thing, where if you do 23andMe and it says that you're 25% of something, you're going to claim it all of a sudden. Oh, I'm 25% Irish. I'm fucking Irish. Like, that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Like, when I hear the term black coach, I think like Mike Tomlin, a black coach. I think Deion Sanders, a black coach. Like, I think black. Like, I don't think you as dark as y'all's hats and beanies black, but I think pure black.
Like your mother and your parents are
I think that you are, if you have two black parents, even if obviously we are all mixed, no matter what anybody wants to fucking say, but you're predominantly one of the multiple beautiful shades of black, whether you brown, caramel, black, whatever you're in, but you're not a half breed. Okay. You're not that. So I do think it takes away from it from that perspective, because he's not a pure blood. Now, I don't hate it. I still appreciate what they're trying to do. But it also feels like, again, we're trying to whitewash something.
It waters it down, because it's like how they call Obama the first black president. But is he though?
No, he's half.
You know what I'm saying? So
He's
like
half.
that's
He's a whitewashed president, but we had a chance to say it the same way they tried to say it with the vice president. First of all, stop it. Same concept, because she is the furthest thing from black. If she was black, she damn sure don't claim it until it was necessary, and it ended up shooting her in the face at the end.
Convenient.
Okay, that's what I wanted to see, because I wanted to see if y'all felt like I felt, because I was like, because it would take away.
The only reason why I say it doesn't is because that's just the way I feel. I feel like niggas is niggas, like. When people
are until they're not, because what happens is.
But that's my point. That's what I'm alluding to, right? It's kind of building on GQ's point, right? Because if we're gonna make it a big deal, right? That he's black, but he's mixed with this, and he's black, but he's mixed with this. If y'all gonna do the whole 23andMe game, but want to claim your blackness when it's convenient for you, then just don't do it at all, right? That's why I respect Marcus Freeman.
Marcus Freeman said I was cool with it because he said I'm mixed. Exactly. The Penn State coach, he looked like a white dude with a tan. He was tripping.
He looked like he spent too much time at the beach.
Exactly.
Right, like, he was tripping.
When I hear that, I'm just like, okay, well, if you're gonna be black, then be black, bro. Like, don't be black when it's convenient. Be black all the time.
That's my whole thing with any of that is don't do it when it's convenient, because then you look like an Uncle Tom if you do it when it's convenient.
It's hard for them.
And the reason why I feel like it does, like, for me, it doesn't take it away is because, like, if Marcus Freeman goes on to win it, that's a nigga. To me, that's a nigga. It's not gonna take away from Dion winning it or fucking.
But then I think for me it would.
Nigga. I'm seeing myself at the end of the day.
For me, it would, because he's not, though, and he said it out of his own mouth. Like, because if by him claiming one side, he's neglecting the other side.
Yeah, and look, hold on, and look, Moo, the reason why you can't make that look is you are in a Marcus Freeman relationship. Right. So, and I'm gonna say it like this because I was married to a Filipino woman. You know the level of pride on both sides of this spectrum. So you can't claim one without the other, because one side gonna be hella pissed off. So
that's true. But
just say, listen, I'm not the first black coach. I'm the first biracial. Just say something crazy like that.
I respect that. And that's the thing. But
remember, we do the same thing with Tiger Woods. Like, Tiger Woods is biracial.
He's biracial.
But we in the community say he's black, even though we know he's literally black and Thai. Like, we know this.
Yeah, and that's how I'm coming. But we put that on him. He'll tell you that he's mixed.
That he's mixed. Yeah, and that's how I'm looking at it, right? Like, I'm looking at it as, you can say that on TV, most definitely, for sure. I respect it, because you gotta acknowledge the other culture. I respect all of that shit, brother, most definitely. But nigga, you're black.
But I don't know. It's for me, because if Dion goes and wins it, or who's another black head coach in college?
So you can say with Eddie George. If Eddie George goes on to win one,
like don't get me wrong, it's not going to diminish the championships. Like, not like that.
No. I just
hate that on TV we're so quick to nominate or anoint. Let me use the right word. Anoint somebody as the first this, the first like. Right. And I've said this on other shows too. I'm so sick of the first whatever of anything.
Right.
Like, just let it be normal. Like, hey, we ain't even got to say all that. They could have left that part out. It doesn't take away from this phenomenal national championship game that we have coming up now.
Right.
Like, nothing takes it away. Like, I wasn't mad when the NFL did it, when we had, Lovie Smith and Tony Dungy. That actually made sense. Like, that actual scenario made sense when it was Lovie Smith and Tony Dungy. That was a whole different concept.
Mm-hmm.
This is just Ryan Day versus Freeman. This is Notre Dame versus Ohio State. This is literally the battle of conference versus non-conference. This is fucking beautiful. Like, that's what I would be. The narrative I'm pushing is literally non-conference versus conference, because that's what this game really is. It's like, hey, I'm not a part of a conference and I'm in y'all's national championship. Now what? Like, that to me is way more dope of a narrative, because everybody and their mom is like, oh, why isn't Notre Dame a part of a conference? Well, clearly I ain't got to be a part of a conference. I can lose to Northern Illinois and still be in the national championship because I dog walked everybody on my way to the national championship.
Well, they ain't play nobody either. So.
That's true. I'm just saying, but you can, when you make it to the natty, you can puff your chest out because you didn't lose. You can puff your chest out.
You still got to play. You still got to play your way to the national championship.
Yeah. So like Boise can't say that. Like Georgia can't say that. They lost. Like Texas finally lost. Like so it's like now Freeman's not like that, but I'm just saying in general, you can literally use that as a motivator as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
We're the only team that is literally not a part of a conference that is now in the National College Football Championship. And if me as a player, if my coach says some shit like that, like, bro, I'm not a part of the SEC, the Big 12, the Big 10, the ACC, none of that shit. None of that. And I'm in the national championship game right now. I have a college with like 7,500 people, and I get 7,500 people at my stands every single Saturday, and I'm about to play the biggest game of my life. I could have never played college football, but because I went to Notre Dame, I'm going to have a 6-figure job when I graduate. But I can now add like potential national champion to that resume just because. Like, this is a huge coaching win because I'm going to use all that shit as a motivator, me personally.
All right. We're going to keep it on coaches, but we're going to jump up a level. Let's go to the NFL.
Hey, fellas, let's work today. Let's focus. We still got the main thing, right? Let's keep the main thing. The main thing. Say that. Keep the main thing. Keep the main thing. Let's go.
All right. So at the end of week 18 on Sunday, we got what's known as Black Monday.
I wish they would change that name. It's so racist.
And it turned black. It turned very black on that Monday. Very
can
black.
we call it like Exodus Monday, like anything else but Black Monday? Like, no, because we associate Black Friday with like amazing deals, not amazing fuckery like that happens on Black Monday.
Yeah. And the fuckery we are talking about is that every black coach in the NFL got fired except for Mike Tomlin, and they talking about getting him out of Pittsburgh.
Now, Mike Tomlin didn't get fired. The Tampa Bay coach didn't get fired. Raheem Morris didn't get fired.
I'm just being on.
I know, but of course, Gerard Mayo got fired, which he should never got hired in the first place. But that's neither here nor there.
I don't know. I think Gerard Mayo was. I think me personally, I think he actually learned how to coach on the second half of the season. I think he figured out the Patriots and what they are and what they are not. And he was building because he made him a believer out of Drake May and me. I didn't believe Drake May was a good quarterback. The second half of the season, he changed that. He looked every bit of the draft pick in which they spent to get him.
Well, I mean, the team looked a lot better. They looked a lot more put together. Everything looked a lot more tightened up. I understand that they weren't necessarily a good team because they don't have the necessary pieces around, the draft pieces or the assets that they picked. But like compared from the start of the season to where the season ended, people can't. I get it, right? Unless you're like a hardcore fan, when you're, focused more on wins and everything, right?
Yeah.
But you can't literally look and tell me that the team didn't get legitimately better, or at least look better.
No, they did. But when I say the worst position you can be in as a coach, is replacing a legend. So if you're going to replace a legend, don't go with a complete new guy. Like, don't do that, because that's where Gerard Mayo was set up for failure. Because you had him come in and replace Bill Belichick, even if he was on the staff. Like, listen, you're talking to the Patriots fan. I am the Patriots fan. Like, I'm the guy. Like, I love Gerard Mayo as a player. He was not ready to step in that position. I'm not saying he shouldn't be an NFL head coach. Just the position that he was put in was literally terrible.
That makes
terrible.
But I think everything that you just said is the reason why he shouldn't have been fired. Because the team
and I
was
agree.
bad.
He shouldn't have been fired, but he should never been put there in the first place. Like, it should have been, realistically speaking, the better candidate to have done that would have been better to have like a Mike Vrabel. It would have been better because at least Vrabel had a track record. He had already been to the AFC Championship game twice. He had a successful player. He was built to coach with that type of hard-nosed mentality that the Patriots needed to slow build that transition off of Bill Belichick. Gerard Mayo was like a new guy who was trying to get his feet wet, and it never felt like it worked. And his press conferences started the trail of him losing the team. Like, he didn't have the credibility to say, "Oh, the team is soft." Like, you can't say that. You don't have any cachet. Like, everything that went on in this first year, and it sucks. Had he been coaching any other team, we wouldn't have thought twice about it. Just like we talk about Dan Kevlin and biting kneecaps, we wouldn't have thought nothing of it. But it's because you're a brand new coach with no kind of cachet, and you replaced a legend. And
I push back on that because he's been the defensive coordinator or part of the defense the last 4 or 5 years.
Yes, and we know this, and so we know this next part very well. Not all coordinators are made out to be head coaches.
No. What I'm saying is he has the cachet in the locker room because he's been in the locker room. Both as a player.
So when I say the cachet, I mean the cachet just in general. Like, outside of Boston, for that matter, nobody really knew, unless you were a fan of the Patriots or in general, you didn't really know much about Gerard Mayo. So when I say the cachet, like, it's different. So a guy like Mike Vrabel, a guy like, like Pete Carroll, like any of these other guys who were out in the market, had a different level of like, okay, you've done X, Y, and Z. Like, yes, he as a player, he had cachet, Super Bowl winning champion, one of the better players on our defense in the second half of our Patriots run, all the things. But from a coaching aspect, he was still a new guy. And that's the thing.
But he's still a coach, but he's still the coach. Like, that's why, I guess this is the player in me. That's like, you still the head coach. Like, I would never say the coach doesn't have cachet because he's there because he's like, it don't matter what. If he say we soft, we soft. It's up to us.
True, but you don't need to say it at a press conference. Say that in the locker room. Like, there are things that you, as a coach, and now I'm going to speak from the coaching side of it. You don't have to say those things out in public at all. Like, this is why I appreciate a coach like Mike Tomlin so much, because he didn't let a lot of shit slip out and come out of the locker room very often until the Antonio Brown shit started happening and some of the other. But for the most part, he kept everything in-house. And I believe the better teams in the NFL, we'll stick to the NFL, the better teams are the teams that keep things in-house. I don't need to say these types of things to the general public because what you're telling the media is that there's dysfunction somewhere. Because if I, as a coach, say that my team is soft, that's actually a reflection on the coach. Because we know this as a player, we are a reflection of our coach. That's what everybody says. Everybody ties players to coaches. So if I come out and say my team is soft, what am I saying about myself as a coach? Now, if I say that in the locker room, I expect my team captains to step up and say, "Hey, coach, I understand you saying, I want that in the locker room. I don't want that in the media." That's where I say he don't have the cachet because he hadn't done enough in the NFL as a coach yet, collectively, to say those types of things. Is in the media. Like, if Bill would have said that, we wouldn't have thought twice about it. Am I right? If Bill Belichick says we don't think twice about it.
But I guess what I'm saying is, I don't care that he said it publicly. I don't, because at some point the team responded to it. Like, the team now, I believe he learned how to coach and how to coach this specific team as the season went on. I think they were trending in the right direction. That's why I said, if anything, giving any coach, I'm gonna get to Antonio Pierce here in a second, giving any coach 1 year with nothing to work with is nasty work.
No, absolutely. You're not you're not wrong. Like, I didn't like the fact that he got fired after a year, especially when we're about to we have the highest upcoming salary cap. We have $121 million of salary cap coming up. And we have the number 4, I believe it is, 4 or 5 draft pick in this upcoming draft. You got to give a coach, like, this is the problem I have with the NFL, period. Coaches don't have a chance to build their programs.
Thank you.
Because a coach, an NFL coach, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's, I'm just saying in general. Yeah, true. Yes, black coach. We'll just keep it there. Because I think you need a minimum of 3 years to truly build your program. That first year, you got to cut the fat. You got to figure out which guys are just completely loyal to the previous regime. You got to get rid of those guys. Prime example, John Harbaugh did this when he came in and took over for the Chargers. Keenan Allen was gone. Like Mike Williams was gone. Like you move out the guys who were so stuck on the previous regime. Like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm gonna do this shit and I'm gonna overachieve with a bunch of no-name guys. Quentin Johnson is a no-name guy unless you watch college football. Like he is. And he had a slightly better season this year. So when I say that, like you have to give these new coaches at least 3 years, because at year 1 you got to cut the fat. Year 2, the team collectively should have a like much better understanding of the system, whatever my system is. Year 3, we should see nothing but progression. Now, if we see worse and worse and worse, okay, bet. If you want to fire me because I went 6-6 in whatever my first year, then I dropped the 4 games and I dropped the 2 games, 100%. I get you. But if I'm trending in the right direction like Bitcoin, you got to let me work.
Does Mike McDaniels keep his job if he looked like Gerard Mayo?
No.
Honestly, I'm going to say he does. And for only one reason, because of the tree he came from. Because he came from the Shanahan tree. Out of all the coaches in the NFL who get essentially the most chances, it's the Shanahan tree coaches. Look at Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh was with the Jets probably 2 years too long. He was already brought in. He was brought in very similar to Gerard Mayo.
Well, he was only in there for 2 years.
Well, but he was brought in essentially to fail. He was brought in with Zach Wilson as his quarterback, and all of a sudden, we already had a whole episode about this.
Don't disrespect Zach Wilson.
But listen to what I'm saying. He was brought into a dysfunctional organization, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to fix it. And then all of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers comes in, and all the coaches are fired. But then you look at Aaron Rodgers bringing in his guy. I can't even remember the motherfucker's name. He was in Denver, and he was terrible. He was terrible.
Nathaniel Hackett.
He brought out the absolute worst in Russell Wilson. Like that's crazy work that you brought out the worst in a Super Bowl winning quarterback. That's not a real trait. That is horrible that you did.
He did the same thing to Aaron Rodgers this year.
Yeah, he brought out the worst. Like, so I think guys that come from the Shanahan tree, justifiably so, by the way, they're given a little bit more leeway because we've seen what the Shanahan system looks like. You see Sean McVay. You even see, you see his coaches are, I believe, him and
But that's why I said if he looks.
I mean, McDaniels is mixed.
Right. That's why I said because I said if he.
What you saying? If he was more black?
Yeah.
If he was more black, I don't know. Maybe.
Because Antonio, there was no reason. The Raiders probably have the worst roster in the NFL.
Well, the Raiders, the Giants, and the Jags and the Bears have the worst front offices in football. Like from the top to the bottom, like 100%. And the Raiders, even this is where I hope that Tom Brady has some influence to make things just a little bit better.
Well, from everything I heard is he's the guy driving the bus on what's going to happen next.
But I don't like that they used Antonio Pierce as a scapegoat. No. Because if I have Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew who rotated out because of injuries, the fuck I'm supposed to do? And then I inserted who was it? Was it not Spencer Rattler? Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder as my third quarterback. First of all, name me an NFL head coach that can win with those 3 quarterbacks.
No, you could have brought John Madden back from his grave. He couldn't win. He wasn't gonna win with that.
I would have rather have gotten Josh Dobbs off the street, from the 49ers, and I probably would have won more games. But Antonio Pierce, he was rocking with a rookie tight end in Brock Bowers. He was rocking with they let their running back Josh Jacobs go, which was crazy work. You traded Devontae Adams, so you had Jacoby Myers as your main receiver. You had Amir Abdullah. You tried to resurrect his fucking career. You did everything the wrong way. But it's not Antonio Pierce's fault.
No, you got to look at it. They fucked up C.J. Stroud because of Josh McDummy.
Yeah.
They wanted Antonio Pierce was pounding the table to get Jaden Daniels. They didn't want to do that.
That was dumb.
You fucking lose. I mean, you win all these games at the end of the season, so you can't get Shador.
It's okay. We fumbled the bag too.
Those are 3 franchise quarterbacks that you effed up moving along. Like you can't fix none of this without a quarterback. You can't fix none of this.
And you have to really like if you're the Raiders, and I hope the Raiders and the Bears do the exact same thing. And I'm gonna say this the simplest way possible. Take your fucking time.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to rush to hire a coach and a GM, but you need to find the right ones. Like I've even seen, which I can't believe I saw this earlier today, that Steve Spagnuolo is taking interviews for head coaching positions. I thought Spags was going to stay as a coordinator.
He's done. As a head coach in my eyes, I'm not hiring him.
Spags is interview with the Raiders and the Jags.
I didn't see Spags come. I saw.
Yeah, Spags came out. It was, what time is it now? It was 4 hours ago.
I hope.
And I was like, what? Because I watch NFL Network kind of frequently, and I was like, wait, Spags. That's why I knew, because I was like, wait, Steve Spagnuolo? Ain't no way.
Yeah. Only thing what I did see, Pete Carroll is coming here Tuesday. I think he'll be here Tuesday. And Dion said,
don't forget Robert Saleh too.
And Robert Saleh. And Dion, this is what I'm hoping for. He said, tell Mark to call me. I'll bring Shador with me.
Here's the thing. All right. Here's the thing about these Raiders. All right. Everybody knows that I'm the resident Raider fan, lifelong Raider fan. It's been frustrating. All right. We are the most unserious team in the NFL. I've been saying that for years. Literally been the laughing stock. But at this point, Mark has put all of his marbles in Tom Brady and everything that he has probably envisioned, which I guess I'm trying to be hopeful for, trying to be optimistic for. So, but it's not really working. It's just interesting to me. Just like GQ said, I think you need at least 3 years for a coach to even get anything started right. You know, like GQ alluded to, cut the fat, right? Establish the system and the culture, and essentially progress. But when you don't give a coach a chance to do that, it makes it hard. And like I've been saying, I called this literally going back to 2021, and it's just crazy how we're here now. But you missed out on the quarterback last year, unfortunately, which, like Mel said, you have a head coach who's literally banging the table to get the guy that he literally coached on multiple occasions in his younger years. Not to mention, you lose out on Cliff Kingsbury.
Well, that was the whole thing. If they would have, that's why Cliff Kingsbury didn't sign with the Raiders, because he was like, if y'all are not going to get Jaden Daniels, there's no reason for me to come here.
If you guys aren't willing to trade up to get Jaden, there's no reason for me coming. And they wanted to give Cliff, well, AP wanted to give Cliff a 3-year deal, but they only wanted to give him a 2-year deal. So obviously I'm not going to take that either, especially when the quarterback that I want to work with and the money is looking right somewhere else. You got to let him go.
He's not wrong, but it really does come down. It's literally that. Like I don't know what we can do collectively. I don't know why I say we. I don't know what the NFL owners can do to make this make sense. Like, why are we in such a win now mode when you have a team like the Raiders, like the Jags, like the Bears, who need you need fucking stability. First of all, how about you stabilize your organization before you worry about winning? Like, winning comes with stability. You think that the Chiefs the Chiefs have always been a stable organization. They haven't really been dysfunctional. It's not really a Chiefs thing. Even before, before the coach, I forget his name that quick. Before the coach got there, all right? Even before Andy Reid got there, they were mostly stable. The Steelers have had 3 coaches and 6 Super Bowls. 3 coaches. That's wild to think about. The Cowboys have been on a downward spiral since they essentially fired a coach that probably would have had them winning 5 Super Bowls had they not fired him. There's a good chance the Cowboys win 5 Super Bowls. They don't fire Jimmy Johnson. There's a good chance. Now, I'm not knocking Mike McCarthy and his 12-win seasons, of course, and you had Red with his 8-8s and all his shit like that. But like we're letting instability drive us. Like, oh, we're on a losing streak. I'm like, bro, you got to let these coaches and this is where it starts at the top. A lot of these organizations are terrible at interviewing these coaches. You're either asking the wrong questions or you're not really evaluating these candidates the right way. Because go for it.
It's a lot. It's everything that you just said, and it goes back to something we talked about. We talk about this shit every April with the draft.
Mm-hmm.
The draft process fucks all of this up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It speeds up the hiring process.
It just is. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna keep doing this until they fucking do it. Don't award teams with shitty records high draft picks. It goes against the nature of the team and the coaches. Because let's say the Raiders won their last 3 games and that catapulted them to the number 1 pick instead of dropping them to the 6th pick. It doesn't make sense that you're going to give a team that's dysfunctional, that has a fucked up front office, the keys to the best players in college football. It doesn't make any sense. It's dumb. You know how different the Miami Dolphins would feel right now? Because they just missed the playoff. Let's say they had the first pick. You know how different it would look with them thinking about how to handle the Tua situation if you now can get Shador or Cam Ward?
So what you're alluding to is that, like, don't give the teams at the bottom, which the worst teams, the top picks. Keep the playoff teams at the bottom like they're supposed to be because they're currently winning. But the middle of the pack teams,
those teams
those are the ones that need they're like 1 or 2 pieces away. Move them to the top of the draft. Put the trash teams in the middle and keep the playoff teams at the bottom like normal. Is what you're alluding to, right?
If you are a shit, because think about it, the Patriots and the Raiders specifically, they both have over $100 million to spend. Spend that shit in free agency. That's how you built the team up. And you add a couple draft picks here and there. But a team like the Dolphins, who really need a quarterback, they can go get that quarterback now.
I've been saying this for years.
Like, it makes so much fucking sense.
I'm saying this 4 years. But now we need a GM too.
You know, take the Bengals. The Bengals who just missed the playoffs. What's their biggest problem? They need a fucking left tackle. So, oh my God, if they got the 2nd pick or the 3rd pick, they can go get the left tackle. Now
they need, like, the Bengals need to do 2 things: sign T. Higgins back, first of all, and they need to go do a Dallas Cowboys in 2015-16 and just draft O-line for the first 4 picks.
But think how easy it is the draft is for teams like that when you can actually draft for need and not
this is
best available player.
This is a very deep offensive line draft.
Very deep.
This is a very deep. This is a weak quarterback class, but a deep skill position in offensive line draft.
Right. And for teams like that who are just, it's
because now teams like, for example, perfect example, a team like you said, the Miami Dolphins, I'll give you one better, is a team like the Cowboys probably don't pay Dak Prescott.
They don't know. They can
because
go get
they probably have a shot at a Dak, at a Shador, at a Cam Ward, at, something like that. Or even if you go back to last year, before he got paid, okay, they got a shot at a Bo Nix, maybe a Jaden Daniels, because
that's where because now you're drafting for need.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
To me, what the draft should be. You should be drafting for need.
Those shitty teams that are just really, really bad, they have way too many needs. It's easier to address those needs in free agency than with a young player.
Especially since they're going to have the most money to do it.
Yeah. And that's the crazy thing too. It is like, even like a guy like Doug Peterson, a Super Bowl winning coach, got fired from Jacksonville. I actually didn't know how to feel about that one. I was confused by that one. And I was confused on 2 fronts. One, I'm like, when you left Philly, Doug, what the fuck did you do? Like, you got arguably a better quarterback.
But the Jaguars been hurt for 3 years.
They have. Between Evan Ingram, Travis Etienne, Trevor Lawrence, who just now, which is crazy, He didn't get hurt all through college, none of that. He just now started getting hurt in the NFL, which is like a wild concept.
The offensive line fucking his ass.
Yeah, and it's like, but again, why is that the coach's fault? Because if that's the case, then why the hell Kyle Shanahan still got a job? That is the most injury-riddled team in the NFL is the 49ers, and Kyle Shanahan still got a job.
Yep.
He sure the fuck are.
Like, that is a Super Bowl roster if they're fully healthy.
Yeah.
But they literally lost. They just paid a receiver and lost him. They paid Brandon Ayuk. He got injured. Christian McCaffrey got hurt. Hell, Brock Purdy was hurt. Debo was hurt. They had Greenlaw was out for a while. Freaking Fred Warner was out for a little bit. Like, I mean, we watch a lot of football. I'm sorry, guys. We see this shit. But like, if injuries are a reason to fire a coach, that's insane. Now, as much as I don't like calling people's jobs, the general manager for the Giants should have been fired. Especially after the season Saquon just had.
Everybody in the Giants should be gone.
And if I'm Brian Daboll, I want out. Because I need to go to one of these, like, send Brian Daboll to Jacksonville and watch what happens.
I don't think he's a good coach, but that's just.
I think he could turn that team around better than Doug Peterson probably could have.
I mean, we're gonna find. I mean, somebody's gonna hire him. So I mean, he's gonna stay in New York. So we're gonna see what he does.
Yeah, he's gonna stay in New York.
So we'll see what happens next because he's gonna get his quarterback and all that other stuff. So
I think a lot of these teams that are coach hunting, if you will, are really gonna ramp it up after this weekend. Yeah, some more jobs are gonna open up. I know you guys are seeing the same things I'm seeing. Like they're talking about, like if the Eagles lose, like will they fire Nick Sirianni? If Nick Sirianni gets fired, the Eagles' job is the hottest job in the NFL.
He needs to go.
And Ben Johnson would immediately be the guy that they should go get because it makes too much fucking sense.
I mean, if I'm the Raiders, I'm gonna go back to the Raiders.
Go for it.
There's two names that I am talking to see what's gonna pop off with. One, I told you, Coach Prime, because then I know I can get Shador and Shiloh.
Mm-hmm.
Two positions we really, really need. And then the second one, I sit back, I put my hands on my fucking underneath my legs, and I'll sit on my hands for a little bit, and you see what happens with Detroit and Aaron Glenn.
Well, yeah, and Glenn's declined a few interviews already too.
Yeah,
he's already scheduled to interview with the Raiders
because he declined the Patriots and he declined the Jets, I believe it was.
Like those are the two that I would lock in on, and I put Pete Carroll on that short list too.
Yeah, and in the situation with the Patriots, like I'm not gonna say I don't care who we get. I just want us to have somebody that's gonna be there for a little bit.
I can see.
And I know they've talked about Mike Vrabel, and if we hire Vrabel, great. If we hire Vrabel, I'm just gonna do that thing. If we do hire Mike Vrabel, I hope that we bring in Antonio Pierce as on our defensive coaching staff. I do. I like Antonio Pierce. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of his knowledge of the game. Like, I really am. And if for some reason, I'm going to throw another name out there. If Robert Saleh does not get a head coaching job, I wouldn't mind him on my defensive staff either as my defensive coordinator. Because I'll take
him as my DC.
Yeah,
Easy.
because he's floating out there. Brian Flores is floating out there, even though he was trying to sue the NFL. So he's kind of on some blackball type shit.
He's the DC. He's the DC.
He is, but he's getting head coaching calls.
He's getting head coaching calls.
Yeah, he's getting head. That's what I'm saying. He's getting head coaching calls. That's like I said when I said Steve Spagnuolo. Also, they're like, I was shocked, but he's getting head coaching calls too. I'm like, oh shit. Like the NFL might look very different in the next year.
Yeah, the Raiders. First of all, we need a GM, but the Raiders are already scheduled.
Yeah, I'm glad they fired Telesco. Oh my god.
Telesco should have been fired 4 years ago, but that's whatever.
But
I know we're talking about coaches, but
with Pete, Ben,
I'm bringing this up because the three of us were on the show when we talked about this, and we were talking about like the XFL and all this shit like that. The NFL is going to vote on the same overtime rule or the same onside rule that we've been talking about that the XFL was already doing.
Mm-hmm.
The 4th and 20 conversion to keep the ball. So the problem was the fact that I had never seen so much backlash. People were literally upset about this. Like,
we thought it was dope the second we saw it.
Yeah, they were like, just go back to the old way. Which I think the fact that you had to declare you're doing an onside kick takes the power of the of the onside kick away.
The surprise. But if you tell me,
but if I have to convert a 4th and 20 to keep the ball, I think that adds a whole new level to the game.
I like that.
especially in the NFL, because NFL offenses and the level of innovation that is there. Like, you telling me during my install of the week, I have to install a 4th and 20 play?
You got to do it for 2-point conversion.
Yeah, like I have to install a 4th and 20 play just in case. And it's like, just imagine, give a guy like Ben Johnson, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan a chance to come up with 4 or 5 4th and 20 plays. They're going to be passes. So I actually like this for the defenses more than the offenses. The only problem I will have with if they decide this is the route is that offenses will try to throw routes that force the refs to call pass interference. That's the only problem I'm going to have with it.
Yeah, like this is chess, not checkers. So you gotta.
Yeah, but you gotta also let DBs play football.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're gonna see we'll see people try to draw up routes and plays that are gonna draw those types of PIs.
A lot.
Well, if you think about the thing, and it's hard because one, it's still 20 fucking yards.
It is 20 yards is 20 yards. But if I get a PI anywhere, it's automatic first.
What I mean is for the that takes time to develop that shit.
Which means my pass rush better come with it.
Yeah. So it's like you ain't gonna have time to do a lot of dumb shit downfield.
No, but by default, I really want to rush 3-drop-7 on a 4th and 20 most of the time. Well, depending on like if it's a I digress on it. If it's a non-high-powered offense, like if it's the Chiefs, I need pressure. I need pressure.
I don't care. I'm sending pressure regardless because if the ball I'm making the ball come out short because we can rally and make the tackle. If you can still play too high. You can definitely still play too high. And I don't have to put my safeties 20 yards back. I can put my safeties 16. I can put them 16 yards, like 16 yards off the ball instead of 20. Like I want you to try
15.
Something wicked. So if I have my safeties or if I start them at 20 and walk them up 16, I want you to try some shit in that little range right there because I'm probably picking that shit off.
Yep. So we said it when we saw it. So once again, we were ahead of all of the bullshit before.
What else is new?
Keep trying to tell everybody that don't nobody want to listen.
Football show on Friday.
All right. You know what time it is. Let's wrap this thing up. Let's get it. All right, let's get this strong finish going.
Week 18 of the NFL season is over. Holy shit, that was beautiful. This is what happened in every game. There is nothing quite like watching Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry ground and pound the living fuck out of a team for 3 hours on a Saturday afternoon. If all the teams in the NFL were countries in the world, the Steelers would be Canada. They are always above average, but they would be better off with a new leader. Oop. With Atlanta's season on the line, Bryce Young had the game of his fucking life and scored 5 touchdowns. Congratulations to the Titans on getting the first overall pick. The Houston Texans will join y'all in Cancun in less than a week's time after they get whacked in the wild card round. Nobody watched, nobody cared. Holy shit, the Colts are fucked. I wanted Anthony Richardson to not be an absolute useless collection of cells on a football field so bad, but all he wanted was a rest. The Dallas Cowboys didn't start Cooper Rush because that would have meant he would have gotten his $500,000 bonus. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers are out here putting their fucking season on the line to get Mike Evans his $3.5 million bonus. The Packers stand absolutely no chance in the playoffs. If the Bears didn't have their last-second field goal blocked in Week 11, Green Bay would have gone 0-6 in divisional games. Speaking of last-second field goals, here we fucking go! Wait, what the fuck is this music? Cairo Santos, walk that shit off, Brazilian boy! Oh, fuck yeah. Baker Big Dick is back in the playoffs. This man gets me feeling nicey every single fucking week. The bread must rise. The Patriots won and gave up the first overall pick, and now they have a fucking quarterback dilemma, because all of a sudden Joe Milton III just so happens to look a little like Tom Brady. Jesus Christ. Quentin Johnston had 13 catches for 186 yards. Watching the 49ers play this season was so fucking disappointing, I felt like Skip Bayless when he realized he wasn't going to get a turn with Joy Taylor, allegedly. Seahawks won, okay, cool, but nobody in their right fucking mind want to play this Rams team in the playoffs. They only have a 2% chance to win the Super Bowl on Poly Market, but they won't lose a game without it being an absolute dogfight versus a 13-win team. In Aaron Rodgers' last game of his career, he turned the clock back to 2012 and ran Tyreek Hill out of Miami. This was supposed to be the game of the year, but all of a sudden the Detroit Lions have the best running back and cornerback in the league on their team, and their defense has half its starters back, so it's now fucking impossible to score on them. Okay, now fucking follow me at Poly Market Sports for recaps of every playoff game this season, Pookie.
First of all, shout out to Poly Market Sports. Holy shit. That is some beautiful production quality right there.
There we go. Shout to that boy, Poly Market Pookie, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so this week was nuts. Shout out to Tampa Bay and the Buccaneers making it to the playoffs again, winning the division, doing what they do. Keep trying to tell y'all. Leave my man Baker alone. Baker making a lot of people shut the hell up.
Shaking Baker.
No, it's great. I just, unfortunately, they drew a terrible matchup because they drew them Commanders.
They always play Washington in the playoffs. It's just what they do.
This game is going to be the highest scoring playoff.
This game is going to be
lit.
Nuts.
It's gonna be lit. I hope there are 40 points scored in the first half.
Take the over. If you're a better, take
please bet the over. I think the over under is already set at like 60 something. It's set stupidly high.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be nuts.
It's a great opening game for a rookie quarterback, like for sure.
Yeah, and I like it. Bryce Young.
Hey man,
the baby Bryce, man.
Give
Bryce Young comeback player of the year. Just that man got benched for Andy Dalton.
Shout out to baby Bryce, man.
And the team has played. He's been playing a lot more confident. He's been playing like the guy that they drafted, like they expected him to be when they drafted him. Sometimes it takes a little time.
I'm genuinely happy for Bryce Young because it's like he got buried after last year. It was like CJ Stroud and nobody else. Like Bryce Young looked like a bust, like all the things he was throwing. He's only throwing to Adam Thielen and all this other shit. And all of a sudden, they paid Chuba Hubbard. They got Jalen Coker. Listen,
catch a pass.
All I'm saying is how the fuck did Coker go undrafted?
True.
Because fuck that. That man got a skill set. There's no fucking way he went undrafted. No way. Like somebody in the scouting department failed because it's not even that like the stats that he put up. Let's just start with that. Jalen Coker is like 6'4", 220. Like you don't let big ass receivers just go on. You at least give them a shot.
Because the problem is, me and my cousin was talking about this, and the biggest problem with organizations and shit, they look at numbers instead of tape.
You got to look at tape. And stop looking at schools all the time. Like I get it. Everybody ain't got to go to these big ass schools to be worth the shit, bro. Like you got to really, like Mel said, you got to look at the tape. Like I get it. Okay, he didn't play at a big D1 school. What is that individual doing at the level he's playing at? You can at least give a decent gauge based off of that. If he's dominating at like North Dakota State, obviously North Dakota State know what the fuck they're doing. 2 quarterbacks and all this other shit came into the NFL. But shit like that, like you've got to watch the tape. And people wonder why during the Patriots dynasty, they're like, where the fuck they getting all these players from? Bill Belichick was a master of scouting. That's why.
And biggest thing is it's crazy that I talked about this before it happened and then it happened again. But I've had multiple people come back to me in text message like, yo, you be saying some crazy shit and it sound crazy when you say it, but then I see it happen in real time. And I'm like, this nigga's not crazy. I'm like, no, I'm a football player. I watch this shit. I tried to tell y'all, everybody who loves Justin Jefferson so much, and you have all reasons to love Justin Jefferson.
Absolutely.
But he has one of the biggest flaws for a wide receiver that you can possibly have that will hamper you from being great. He cannot get off of press coverage.
I've been saying that since he was at LSU.
If you watch him against Darius Slay, you watch him against Jair Alexander, you watch him against Jeff Okudah, Amik Roberts been doing this shit to him since high school.
Oh, you mean that whole thing where we're like, oh, Jamar Chase is the better receiver?
Yes.
First of all,
like
he couldn't even get off the press at practice against Stingley. I've literally been saying this since he was at LSU, dog. You cannot be the best receiver in the league if you not even just sporadically, if you consistently cannot get off the press.
Yeah, I have a video of him getting suplexed by all of the corners that I just mentioned. And I don't know why other teams, well, you got to have corners that can play press coverage. That's number one. But if you understand this, you can take away their most dangerous, well, Jordan Addison has changed that, but
I'm about to say Jordan Addison out of USC is a dog too.
and we said that when he got drafted. Like, it's just
Him getting to Minnesota was a steal. And then TJ Hawkinson on top of that. And then you let them get Aaron Jones from a division rival. When he's healthy, he's one of the more lethal dual threat running backs in football.
Yep.
You just need Sam Darnold not to fuck it up. That's all.
So, it's a lot. It's a lot. Like, organizations have to stop looking at, oh, well, he only ran a 4.5 or he's this. I don't care about what do the tape tell you.
We also got to quit acting like, bro, a 4.5 ain't slow.
Can he play?
Like, realistically speaking, for the non-athletes out there, and I mean this with all due disrespect.
Yes.
If you think running anything past a 4.6, you're slow. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Anything past a 4.6, you're slow.
Yeah, at a skill position.
Like, you're slow. And at a skill position, a 4.6 is fast. But there are certain positions where a 4.6 is slow. As a receiver, if you're running a 4.5, you are not a slow receiver.
No, like
a 4.5 is lethal.
Yeah,
like a 4.4 is still an elite time. There are not a lot of 4.2s and 4.3s out there. If you're running a 4.4 anything,
you know how hard it is.
You are dangerous. Like, yeah, like there's a very small percentage of people that run under a 4.4. Let's just start with that. Okay. If you're running a 4.4 or a 4.5, you're one of them.
And it depends on your body type. Drake London is not. I don't want Drake London running a 4.3. I mean, if he did,
and I don't need him to. I also don't need Mike Evans to run a 4.3.
And he's slow as shit. But you know what?
But
he always downfield by himself.
Yeah, like a guy like Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is built like T.O.
But Jamar Chase is fast as a bitch.
He is fast as fuck. But you see what I'm saying? Like, but he's not a 4.2 guy, but he's definitely probably a 4.4 guy. Yeah. But
Deebo Samuel is not fast.
No, but he powerful as fuck.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk, not fast.
You can even go back. Like, look at guys like Anquan Bolden back in the day. Anquan Bolden wasn't fast.
Definitely not fast.
The best receiver of all time.
Jerry Rice was not fast until he got the ball in his hand. He'll tell you. He said, when I caught the ball, I thought I pretended a dog was a pit bull. Sorry, a pit bull was chasing me is what.
But that's
Jerry
what
Rice
Deion said. Deion said, I don't care what the numbers say. On football Sunday, Jerry Rice ran a 4.3.
Yeah. And I believe that because when he said it, he's like, until the ball was in his hands, Jerry looked slow until he caught the ball. Then all of a sudden he looked like the fastest dude on the field.
Man, as somebody who's not only ran a 4.3 but has covered legit 4.3, 4.2, there are different levels to speed.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. There are different levels to speed.
100%. And I'm speaking from the track side of this, okay? Because I ran a 4.6 as a freshman. I ran a 4.4 my senior year. Notice what I said as a freshman, I ran a 4.6. 3 years later, I ran a 4.4. It's not easy to get into that 4.4 range at all.
Hard as a bitch.
It's not easy.
It's very hard.
If you have a guy, even if he's not at a D1, if he's at a D2 or a D3 and he's running a 4.4, you might want to go watch the tape just to see what the fuck is really going on.
Mm-hmm. Just watch, because technique and skill and all that shit
and speed really don't lie.
It really don't. It don't. Tyreek Hill
coach
came from a Division III school. So there's that.
There's that.
And if you don't believe it, look at Tavon Austin's film.
That's my nigga right there. Like I told him he was gonna be him when he was in high school. I coached him in high school. That motherfucker, he was nasty back then. Okay. Let's get to these games, playoff matchups before we wrap this thing up. First game, Saturday. Chargers, Texans.
I almost bought tickets to that game, but then I had some shit come up because the game's here in Houston. But I'm going with the Chargers though. Like John Harbaugh is just that guy year 1 and year 3. He overachieves in year 1. He has a slightly down year 2, and in year 3 he like takes off. So the Chargers are still overachieving this year, and their roster's not even fully together yet. So I fully believe now. I do think he's unlocked Justin Herbert, like to where Justin Herbert doesn't have to be like Josh Allen with the Bills. He doesn't have to be Superman. He has to be above average, and that's all. And that's why I think the Chargers will win this game. I do think it's going to be a good game though.
The Texans were my Super Bowl picks. I'm gonna stick with the Texans until they lose.
I need every single AFC West team to lose. Fuck off.
Good luck with that.
Okay. This is the game that I said was going to be very, 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 very dicey. Steelers, Ravens.
It's not dicey to me.
Ravens.
See, because I said there's one team that the Ravens really didn't want to play. And I get how the Steelers are coming into the playoffs, but I still feel that way.
And you're right. But then there's this other thing. There was a stat that came out about 28-year-old Ravens quarterbacks in Super Bowls. When Joe Flacco went on his run, he was 28. Lamar is 28.
That's fine.
And Lamar is having his best season as a passer, which is scary for everybody involved, because we're not even talking about the fact that Lamar ran for 900 yards. Lamar was about to be 1,000. That would have been the first time ever, 1,000. Like, that would have been stupid.
Like, no. Trust me. My second pick was the Ravens to win this whole thing.
And I love, because people call, they call Josh Allen Superman. Listen, Lamar is Batman. Lamar has different ways to beat you. And the fact that Lamar is going into the playoffs with multiple ways to win games. Now, yes, the Zay Flowers thing is big. I'm not even going to discredit that. That's big. But having Bateman, having Isaiah Likely, having obviously Andrews, but also having...
I thought they would have called Odell.
Yeah, but also having Keaton Mitchell back, because people forgot about Keaton Mitchell after last year. Keaton Mitchell is a one cut back. Yeah. And for those who don't know what a one cut back is, that means you can get at running back the ball, and he is one cut from taking that motherfucker to the house. He is a one cut back that is behind Derrick Henry. And you also still have Justice Hill. So Lamar's not lacking weapons. And then there's Lamar, who's a weapon all by himself. So I still think Baltimore is going to win this game. And I also think they're going to win this game handily. And because that defense has finally started to show up. Like, the move of moving Hamilton back to safety has been the biggest thing that they've done all year. And that's why they're damn near the top scoring defense in football now.
Do you want to know what it is? It's not that they finally showed up. They're finally starting to play discipline, because they put that man back in his fucking spot.
Yes. And they're healthy. They are healthy.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I got the Ravens.
Hamilton was injured off and on. Roquan was banged up. Like, Van Noy is playing. Van Noy done turned the clock back a little bit. People forget about Kyle Van Noy. Kyle Van Noy was a big part of our Patriots Super Bowls too. Like, people forget. Like, Kyle Van Noy is a 12 sack player.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
I got the Ravens.
Put that guy back in his spot. The soldiers get in line.
It's funny how that works, right? When you have a safety doing the right thing, it's funny how that works.
Just saying.
So, like I said, I got the Ravens winning. It's a little. I just felt it was going to be dicey.
You're right, but I don't trust the dynamic of Russ and Pickens falling apart. The Steelers defense is playing down for the first time in a very long time. And I think Lamar is going to smell blood in the water, and he's going to take full advantage.
Right. So, like I said, Texans was my pick until Texans lose. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Then I'm going Ravens. Yeah. And that's it.
I'm taking Baltimore by 2 touchdowns. I'm being bold.
Yeah, I'll give them 10. Next up, Sunday, early game. I'm in a conundrum here. I'm stuck in the middle of this. I got my Commanders and the Buccaneers. I'm in a really bad space right now.
I'm conflicted too. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I
take,
can break the ice. I can break the ice for us if y'all are so conflicted. Don't worry.
I'm gonna take the Buccaneers. I think Washington is early. Jaden is we're not there yet. We're not there yet. I wouldn't be surprised if they won, but I'm gonna take Baker. Baker don't
I am
lose in the first round.
extremely confident in Jaden Daniels. I said it from the jump when I was on the show and we talked about the draft that he was the best quarterback coming out of this draft, and it's been proven all year that he's still the best quarterback out of this draft. He was drafted.
I'm searching for that video.
He has the perfect supporting cast offensively around him for this season. I hope they still add pieces. They're getting Austin. You got Austin Eckler back last week. Great for him. You've got a coach who has literally coached a team to the Super Bowl. You've got an offensive coordinator who's finally slightly broken his curse, because Cliff Kingsbury teams tend to fall off around week 11. They did. They fell off 11, 12, and 13, and then they started picking it back up again, which is good for Cliff. So I'm taking the Commanders, but I'm taking them by a field goal. I think this is literally a game where you might see 45 to 41 type of shit, or 45, 42 type of game. Like, I would love to see, and Mel, you may or may not, I would love to see a Rams Chiefs type of situation again.
Goodness gracious. Okay.
And that will be that for a first round playoff game. That will be sensational.
Well, I think that's what we're gonna get. I think it's gonna come. I think this is gonna come down to whoever got the ball last.
Yeah, I genuinely think this is a field goal game. Like, I think this is a 3-point game.
I'm leaning towards the Buccaneers because of Mike Evans.
Well, the Commanders have the anti Mike Evans on the other side in Marshawn.
It's gonna be a fight. Him and Marshawn Lattimore.
And if they get suspended in the first half, it's over.
I'm taking Mike. I'm
not, because Lattimore done had his number, so I'm not.
Mike gonna pack that man out again. I need that. Let's go.
I don't know, man. Look, the way Lattimore is healthy too. Both of them are healthy. This go around. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Now this game, I think it comes down to my X factor in this game is Bucky Irvin. If they cannot control Bucky Irvin, it's gonna get nasty.
See, and my X factor, ironically, is actually Austin Eckler, because they're obviously Brian Robinson is going to be Brian Robinson, but if Austin Eckler is exactly what he's supposed to be and what he has been, and they don't account for that, they're in trouble, because the Buccaneers defense is not that good. Now, they are getting back key players who have been injured most of the year, which is big for them. They're getting Jamel Dean back, and they're getting another defensive tackle back, which is good for them. So there's that part of it. So, but this also might be Scary Terry's coming out party in the playoffs.
That's what I need.
We're gonna see.
Because listen, Terry McLaurin has been one of the most loyal receivers since Larry Fitzgerald, and he finally has a quarterback, even though he's like a 28-year-old receiver. So I hope he gets a contract extension, and I hope he balls out for the next 5 years. That's what I want for Scary Terry, because I love that guy. That guy don't complain. Yeah. He just shows up and plays football.
That's what I say. I'm torn. So I'm gonna be happy either way. So I'm gonna be all right. Next game, and I'm calling this one like Babe Ruth or what's the old fat nigga? I don't care. I'm calling it. Broncos Bills. I'm calling it. Upset.
I called upset as soon as I saw the matchup. I was like, yep, give me the Broncos because of the X factor of Sean Payton.
I'm gonna take the wily veteran in Bo Nix.
65 starts is a wily veteran, because 65 college starts is unheard of.
Yeah.
Like him and Michael Penix with the amount of starts they had is crazy.
Absolutely nuts.
So I love the comparison that you've got Josh Allen, who has been sacked very rarely, and you've got the number one sack defense playing against each other. This game is going to come down to the trenches, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Because if the Broncos can hit Josh Allen, you don't even have to sack him. If you can hit Josh Allen is a different quarterback when there is pressure and he's getting hit. He turns and reverts back to the old Josh Allen that likes to throw the ball and turn the ball over. And you got Patrick Surtain II on the other side who going to shut down half the damn field. So if you're telling me that Josh Allen can only throw to the middle of the field and the right-hand side of the field, it's a recipe for an upset. And I don't want Josh Allen to fail. I don't.
I do.
But I love Sean Payton. He's one of my favorite coaches. And
I
when
hate
he's
both these
on,
teams, but
when he's
I hate
on,
Josh
he's
Allen.
on.
Because
And I think giving Sean Payton a rookie quarterback might have been one of the most dangerous things we could have done, because he has put his stamp on Bo Nix, and this is only year one. So
That's
everything that
what they
Bo
went to
Nix is
middle
doing
school
this year, he's overachieved. He's not even fully polished yet. So
yeah, he is.
no. I'm saying
They
from
went to
an
middle school
NFL
together.
standpoint.
He been working with Sean Payton on this playbook since middle school, so they good.
Yeah, they was back in elementary school together, kicking it. This Bo Nix is 55, so this doesn't.
That's true. He is an old soul.
But the thing about it is like we're gonna see, everybody's talking about, oh, Josh Allen did more with less and yada yada yada, and I'm just like, okay, but I don't believe that. Me personally, I don't believe that.
No, I like his receiving core, and you gave him Amari Cooper.
Not to
But
use.
he hasn't done shit with Amari Cooper.
Like, you had Amari, Khalil Shakir, and you had Keon Coleman, and you had Dawson Knox. Like,
right. So
you actually have a better weapon set than a lot of teams.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna see.
You roll with the Bills because it's fuck the Broncos, and y'all heard what I said earlier.
Yeah,
I mean, look, it is
the way
it's a
you
Bills
feel
home
about
game.
the Broncos is how I feel about the Bills.
It's a Bills home game, but the weather doesn't play a factor, because if this game was in Denver, I definitely would take the Broncos if this game was in Denver.
Right. So I'm gonna take so we're taking the Broncos. Late game.
Yeah, buddy.
Packers Eagles.
Rematch of week 1 when Jordan Love got hurt.
Now this is weird because I know Jordan Love got hurt last week, and I think Watson is out.
Yeah,
yes, Watson's done for the year.
Yeah, so
Watson's done for the year. AJ Brown's dealing with a knee injury. Hurts just came out of concussion protocol today and had a full practice. Jordan Love also had a full practice today. So this is an interesting game.
Go Pat, go.
I'm leaning on that because Jordan Love, that's our guy.
Yeah. I think all three of us have been big Jordan Love guys since forever. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it the clean sweep. And not only because I really want the coaching controversy of Sirianni being fired.
I think honestly, if they lose, if
they lose, Sirianni gone.
He's
but
done.
then just think about it. If you're the Packers, you would have blown out the Cowboys your first year, and then your second year you beat the Eagles.
And then think about it. And then if you think about it on the Eagles side, they got blown out by Baker last year.
Yeah.
Them Philly fans gonna evict Sirianni themselves.
They're gonna help him pack and move.
You remember that move earlier, Mel?
You're gonna move your ass to Siberia.
Going to do the Sirianni.
Yep. And then last game Monday night, which is odd. I don't remember them having Monday night.
They moved it because of the fires. Well, no. They didn't move it. I apologize. They moved the location of the game. The game was always scheduled for Monday. They moved the location to Arizona because of the fires in California.
Yeah, I just don't remember them playing playoff games.
This is the first time that they've done that. We have 5 days of football: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's beautiful.
I knew it wasn't me. I was talking like Monday night football playoff game. That's crazy. I like that.
Hey, listen, I'm not complaining.
Oh no, not at all.
I love it.
I think the Rams keep it pushing.
Was it the Vikings? They got the Vikings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rams Vikings. Sorry.
No, I got Rams.
No, I got the Vikings. I think Brian Flores and that defense keep rocking. They got caught off guard by that Puka Nacua thing, as he was literally activated like 2 hours before the game. I don't think it happens twice. I think they keep rolling. And by they, I mean the Vikings.
I don't know. They got their ass whooped last week.
I mean, but that's the best team in the NFC though. Like, that's different.
Speaking of which, I got this.
Jahmyr Gibbs just man-fucked Minnesota. Holy shit! The Vikings got dicked down harder than a prime Joy Taylor trying to get a promotion at Fox Sports, allegedly. The Detroit Daddies rock and roll football is a beautiful sight to behold. On the last and most important game of the regular season, Dan Campbell rolled out that enlarged ball sack in his wheelbarrow and proceeded to treat fourth downs with about as much respect as Skip Bayless has for the Muslim religion, allegedly. NFL teams better start praying Detroit's defense don't get any healthier. I didn't didn't realize that the Lions had pockets on their uniforms big enough for a Meek Robertson to fit Justin Jefferson in for the whole game. And don't get me salivating and fantasizing over Detroit's offensive line. Them motherfuckers just turned Gibbs into Barry Sanders. The Lions are at 47% to win the NFC on Polymarket, but that seems low. I know I'm giving the Lions almost as much glaze as Emmanuel Acho gives to his work wife, but I don't care. If you want quick game recaps like this for every game of the playoffs, fucking follow me at Polymarket Sports right now, Pookie.
And there we go.
When you can put your ball sack in a wheelbarrow, you know you got it. Like that.
And the man.
Yep. Oh, little body, little fro. She is in the building.
Well, she big body, big frog. She
big body.
She 37 pounds now.
Okay. So that is the show. Brother came through, so we had to have an extra long ass show today.
You know, it's normal. I pull up, she pull up. It's like a normal thing.
That's just the way it go.
Same old two-step.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody who was in the chat, who's still in the chat. JC, your favorite hater, Andre. Who else was up in there? I think that was it for right now. And everybody else who's watching on Facebook, Instagram. I still got to figure out how to get it on Instagram. I got to figure that out. GQ. Look, we got the light body, big fro over there.
Yeah, my son just came to practice party. Say what's up.
Look, Coda, come on. I got to get somebody in this. He mad at me because he want to go outside. He's like, nigga, take me outside first.
He said,
yeah, mine doing the same thing. Mine at the gate looking at me like I'm stupid.
Yeah, so those are the picks. We're gonna get down with that. We're gonna have to recap all. I gotta figure out a way. We got to start doing stuff during the week. We talked about we was talking to DJ about it yesterday, just clipping up some stuff so that we can deal with current events a little better.
Yes.
But we'll work on that. It's 2025. We got a lot of things we working out moving forward. Shout out to all the guests that we've had on the shows. I got a couple guests for Gentlemen's Talk. I'm working on some.
Yeah, we got. Listen, 2025 is the year because we are heavy on the interviews. We got a couple more interviews down the pipe. We got at least 6 interviews already scheduled for 2025. So keep them rolling, keep them coming.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Trevor to come on Gentlemen's Talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like we said, 2025 we got some big things coming live.
Yeah. Oh, listen, and it only gets bigger. This is Friday, so I get to say this. There's a better than good chance that in February the Gentlemen's Talk will be at a social media award show in Baytown, potentially being nominated for an award because of our interviews with local talent.
Big shit. I told y'all 2025, we turning up.
Turning up. Make sure y'all tap in.
Y'all can call us Roscoe Dash, baby. We all the way turned up.
And yeah, we're gonna see y'all next week. Make sure y'all keep rocking with us, man. Appreciate y'all. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Y'all was live today.
Yep. Like I said, Monday, basket to basket. Wednesday, we got Gentlemen's Talk. Tuesday, PVT right back here. Friday with Inside the Huddle. The podcast is I told y'all 2025, the goal is to be monetized by the end of the year. That is the goal. I'm putting my sights on that bullshit. 10,000 subs by the end of this year.
We got 3,171 right now.
We need the plaque.
I want the plaque, man. I want all of us to do the show with the plaque in the background.
Y'all can have a plaque. I'm gonna take the picture of the plaque and put it on the championship belt so I can wear it on my shoulder.
Cook, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
Because this is it, man. The shows are getting great. Basket to basket is getting awesome. We're gonna work on some things with them, get that thing turned up. Gentlemen Talk, you already hear they getting awards and shit. PVT ish, we kind of working together. We intertwining some things, and yeah, everything's gonna be taking off, man. So
we got crossover shows. You've seen Gentlemen's Talk. We are the first show so far on From the Sidelines that has done an actual crossover show with another show live on our show. So we got a couple more crossovers coming down the pipe. So
yep. Speaking of which, I know you're watching. Go James Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah. And I seen the clip from yesterday's show too. By the way, I'm salty because old buddy would have got absolutely murdergram style if I'd have been on that show yesterday talking WWE. Because I caught the clips. He'd have had to mute that mic.
Look, I told DJ, I was like, you can't scare off the dude on the first
Listen,
show.
you can't come on here and not stand on business either.
That's true. This is it was PVT. That's what it's for.
It's player versus team. You got to stand on business. If you say what you said, you got to back that shit up. And I ain't talking about Juvenile.
Yeah, come on.
No diddy. All right, we up out of here. GQ, thanks for coming through.
Hey.
We appreciate you. You know, it's always love when you come through.
Always the original.
Y'all, draft time, playoff time. You gonna see me. Stars come out when the lights shine brightest.
Exactly. You know, we put the band. I think we form like Voltron when everybody get together.
I mean,
yes, sir.
Yeah. And there we go.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
Push the goddamn button.
Push the